These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? They're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
Every day something hits me, I'm so cold. Find me sitting by myself, no excuses.
The two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's barley basket.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of America's Barley Basket. My name is Marlon Wells, alongside host Nathan Fulsabach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlon.
How are you, bud?
Okay.
I got a little announcer voice in me, and I don't know what's happening.
See how long you can keep it going.
Nathan, please call the police.
I think that's a doctor.
Or a hospital. I don't know.
I don't think you're committing crimes yet.
I don't know why I'm like this. It's getting worse, I think.
Fargo PD, what's your stance on vocal crimes?
Help me.
They can hear you wailing in the background.
I'm stuck in game show voice, and I don't know what to do.
You gotta start doing like copy from like radio ads, like these Dodge Dakotas are at rock bottom prices.
Oh my god! But just it feels like there's beetles in my skin. I don't understand.
If you can find a Chrysler Pacifica at a lower price, buy it.
Oh god! My staple for that isn't even actually that. It's Cheech Marin in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
When he's like the barker and he's outside going, "If you can find cheaper pussy, fuck it."
Yeah.
I love that delivery. That movie's fucking good.
It's a fun movie. I could stand to rewatch that movie.
It's been a long time. It's been years since I've seen From Dusk Till Dawn.
It's a pretty early purchase in my VHS collection.
Yeah, VHS even.
Oh man, I probably own 60 VHS movies.
Oh shit!
Sold it all for $3.
Oh,
because like
heartbroken
at a rummage sale, a guy was fumbling through his pockets to find like the correct amount of money because he wanted to. I had him for sale for like 50 cents a pop. He wanted to buy 8 movies.
Yeah.
And it was like late in the day and he's like fumbling. I was like, how much money do you have right now? He's like, I think it's like $4 or $3. It's like, if you want to take that tub of 50 movies, they're yours. I don't want to load them into my car again.
Fair.
And he just took them all. And I was like, do I miss it because I'm a junk collector?
You do.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Does it keep you up at night?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Do you sit around right now being like, I bet he's watching From Dusk Till Dawn right now.
I remember I had a copy of Psycho that I bought at a going out of business video store that was like a 1981 VHS tape.
Yeah.
And it was weirdly heavy.
Nice.
I was like, I should have just cracked that thing open like a crab and seen what was in it. What were they putting? Was it lead? Like,
somebody hit a gram of Coke in this VHS tape.
Like, what were they doing in those old VHS tapes?
There's a condom full of horse in here. Who was meant to get this?
It's full of like gold fillings.
Honestly, if you crack open a VHS tape and it's full of teeth, that's pretty metal.
What mournful World War II vet hit his gold tooth bounty in a VHS copy of Mannequin.
Shit. Man, Psycho is super fucking good.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good movie. So is Psycho 2. It's too good.
I've heard that.
It's too fucking good.
You might have been the one that turned me on to that. Boy, talking about a movie that was just destined not to be good, comes out 17 years after the original. Like,
it has no business being made.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
But like a movie that has shit to say about rehabilitation and
so
stuff
wild,
like that.
yeah.
Fuck, that movie's good.
And like, I'm sure it was just a cash grab in the 80s when all these slasher movies. So it's like, hey, we made the original slasher. Let's make another one.
It was for sure marketed that way. Yeah.
Same thing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, too. It's like, oh, hey, horror movies are cool and can make money. Well, we need to relaunch this franchise.
I've never cared for the Texas Chainsaw movies, and I think I know why. The first one I ever saw was that weird Matthew McConaughey, Kirstie Alley one.
Kirstie Alley, Renee Zellweger.
There we go, Renee Zellweger. And it fucking put me off of that franchise so hard. I've never wanted to watch another one.
Did you catch it on premium cable as a young man? That movie
Maybe?
got pushed weirdly hard
That
on like
might have been like a
Cinemax.
free weekend of Cinemax on DirecTV or something in my youth.
Remember that so clearly because I'm sure the only reason it got pushed so hard is because Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger became
big stars.
mega stars.
Yeah.
And I mean that movie was made when they were fucking nobodies. So
Is that the second movie, third movie?
Fourth movie.
Okay.
So Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out in 74.
And is it meant to be funny?
I don't know.
Because it's kind of
I
hilarious.
think so. I've never seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I've heard that because that is super gory and slapsticky in a way.
Okay.
And then they came up with a third one, which I've also never seen, that I've heard pushes, like they had to do massive edits to get an R rating. But that movie's so obscure. I just recently read that it actually got a theatrical release, which is baffling to me.
Okay.
Because that movie has no footprint on pop
Did it
culture.
like go too hard and fuck
I
people
wonder.
up?
And then I think it's also just not good.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also love because Leatherface has a tight hockey mullet in that.
Okay. I like a good tight hockey mullet.
Like or tight hockey mullet or chubby early 90s mom hair. Like a lot of women had the mullet.
Yeah.
Like everyone had a friend whose mom, got big shoulders, pulling guard, as we've said. And then in the mid to late 90s, we got that one.
Sure.
I don't even know what it was called.
I don't know either. Like, I would have to look it up.
Oh, and then there's like, it's totally meant for slapstick because fucking they make Leatherface like a cross-dresser, like, because there's lipstick on the movie cover. It's like a lipstick container with a chainsaw blade coming
Sticking
out.
up out of it,
Yep.
as if it's the lipstick part of the lipstick.
And then in about 03 or 02, or maybe 02, 01-ish is when they relaunched a bigger budget remake with Jessica Biel.
That one I've seen.
Yeah.
Holy shit, the two Texas Chainsaw movies I've seen are those two. The Trainwreck fourth one and the Jessica Biel reboot.
Yep.
I know that I have friends, you probably do too, who are horror movie fanatics listening to this upset right now. Like, how are those the two?
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant like chronologically though. We're doing our math right so far.
Yeah, not upset because of inaccuracies, but upset because of those are the two you've seen, Marlon.
And if you're a boy of a certain age, that Jessica Biel one hits you in the pants pretty hard. She's a pretty lady. That shows how good of a movie it is. That's what I take from it.
Okay. Yeah, she is a pretty lady. Ain't no way around it.
There was another either sequel with Jordana Brewster as the pretty lady in peril, also a pretty lady.
I don't know her.
She had a recurring role in the Fast and the Furious. You'd know her if you saw her.
Oh, okay.
Dark hair, black hair. That narrows it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I imagine I know who you're talking. Is she the black-haired Latina girl who's not Michelle Rodriguez in those movies?
Nailed
okay.
it. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Got it.
Then I think they maybe did one or two, and now there's like a relaunch. They made a new Texas Chainsaw on Netflix.
Okay.
Within the last. And
I did see people talking about
with
it.
a name behind it, they're like, "Oh, this could be good." And a trailer. Did you ever see the trailer?
No, I didn't.
Intriguing. Like, oh, this could be good. And then I looked at the Rotten Tomatoes. It's like, oh boy. And then anyone, my friends that I've saw, like, ugh, can't. It's a good premise. He's like a 70-something-year-old man.
Leatherface? Okay.
Yeah. So like he's just like living in an abandoned town. Like we grew up where there are abandoned towns, and he just lives there, waiting to die, and then a bunch of fucking Instagram influencers move there for some reason, and then carnage ensues.
Okay.
So like I'm behind it till then.
I'm into that.
But now I hear it's like it's yeah. Are you a fan of the original?
I've never seen it.
Oh fuck!
I've seen those two.
Yeah.
Like that's all I got.
See, that's the thing for me. Like with a lot of things, if you love one so much and the sequels, even if they're only mediocre, you dislike them.
Sure.
So even if these sequels were good, I'd probably be like, ugh, it ain't nothing compared to the original, but like they aren't even good.
I also picked my slasher flavor and stuck to it pretty early in life. Like I was a Hellraiser kid when I was a teenager. I love those
That'll
movies.
get a principal talking to.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the first two movies are legitimately good. The rest of them are
fun.
They're all exactly. There's plenty of them that are good but bad, or at least have some nugget of good in them. But I just prefer that. I don't know. I prefer that aesthetic.
Yeah.
I would rather
You're leather boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Baby needs punishment.
Like I prefer a man with hooks through his nipples and a leather corset than this guy with his butcher apron and his face.
See, on the like those movies seem so extreme that I just assumed I wouldn't like them. But you and I've heard from others,
you would like them.
Yeah,
especially 1 and 2.
That they're actually good,
Yeah.
horror, scary, good.
Like they're like
movies.
esoteric and big ideas enough in a way that I think you would appreciate.
Yeah.
But I would probably also appreciate the blunt instrument of man has chainsaw. Like I would probably be into that too. So
First Texas Chainsaw Massacre is hands down my favorite horror movie. And it's pretty high on the list of my favorite movies of all time. It's that good.
Really?
Yep. It's top 10 favorite movie of mine of all
maybe I
time.
should put it on this year's October list.
It's a movie that's so good. If it came, because they used to show it at the Fargo Theater every few years.
Okay.
I would like henpeck you to go see it. Like it deserves to be seen in a big theater. Like,
Come on, Marlon. I'll pay. I'll make it a date. I'll cut the hole in the popcorn, the whole thing.
How charitable of me to pay $5 for a midnight movie. No expenses too great.
Got to buy 4 seats because those seats aren't made for us.
They were made for small 1920s men. No, wasn't made for small 1920s men.
Okay,
The
all right.
Simpsons?
Okay,
Oof,
sure.
that was a tough jump.
I guess that was an impossible stretch.
I hope there's a man that's 101 years old that is right now like putting his hands into his hips. I like The Simpsons.
Hey, I like this.
I find it relatable.
I love Mr. Burns.
There are universal themes in this show.
I get all of Burnsy's references.
I too went to New Haven High. So we're in season 21, starting with episode 6. Pranks and Greens.
Coming off of, just to remind everybody, coming off of a set that we didn't love.
Troublesome set to 5.
I think less good than average.
One of the rougher groups of 5 we've had.
It was a tough one.
In quite a while.
Yeah, just a reminder of where we're at with the show.
So the episode starts with Bart and Milhouse fucking going for it. They unleash a fury of pranks upon the faculty of Springfield Elementary, peaking with the destruction of Skinner's car by making the motor rise out of it. Like, is it a Yugoslavian car?
Yeah.
Which is awesome that he owns a Yugo.
Yep.
Haven't seen a Yugo on the road in a hot minute. 20 years ago, you'd maybe catch one every
school.
Every once in a while, a Yugo would fly by. They went 40 miles an hour.
Bart,
top
that's
end.
a rebuilt Yugoslavian motor, and there's not even a Yugoslavia anymore.
That's a good point. If you own a car from a country that no longer exists, that's troubling. That's not what you want. Oh man! And when he gets Bart in his office, he has the line, "You weren't the first prankster to destroy the car I rent from Mother, and you won't be the last." Renting a car from your mom is so great.
And I like that Bart
man.
immediately calls him out on it. He goes, rent? And he's like, well, rent to own.
Yeah.
Like
39
like he defends himself. Yeah.
They have a complicated relationship. Let's put it that way.
That's a way to put it.
Yeah. Skinner, during this time in his office, he lets Bart know that there was once a student that was even a bigger shithead than Bart.
Yeah.
Which is hard to...
And Bart can't live with that.
Yeah, it eats at him to the point that's kind of the main crux of the episode is him determined to find out more about this guy. Yeah. So it ends with him. I like how Springfield Elementary's newspaper has like a dedicated floor just to the news. So he's looking at, what do they call that when you look at the old, there's a name for that machine.
Microfiche.
Microfiche.
When's the last time you used a microfiche machine?
I had a disastrous attempt I thought I wanted to be a high school history teacher, so I was a history major, and I looked through the old, at NDSU's campus.
Yeah. You stare at the microfiche machine, especially of the time. Do you think that's all been digitized
scanned,
by now, right?
All been
It's
scanned.
got to have been.
Good question.
Like I spent a relatively decent amount of time in 0304 staring at a microfiche machine.
Like for fun or for college?
For college.
Just for laughs.
For history. Hey man, I I like looking up old news articles around a specific event. Like
if I was cleaning out a cellar and there was a copy of the 1977 Fargo Forum, I'd get a kick. Look, we'll see the ads. Or, hey, look what movies were playing at that time, you know? Oh, what was Marmaduke doing in 1970s? That kind of shit would appeal to me, yeah. Like
I like old newspapers because I'm a cool boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you there, though.
We're real hip
cool
cat.
boys.
Yeah.
Want to hold some wet newsprint, my lady?
You and I are like Joe Camel and Chester Cheetah, just the two coolest fellas around.
No, girls are allowed, but they are not showing up to the newspaper party.
Newspaper party.
Just us in suits sitting around a table with a pile of old musty newspapers and like finger foods around.
They're like yellowed and brittle the way they get. Next to a charcuterie tray and a veggie plate.
Use the periodical tongs. Your finger oils will destroy the
Just
fine
a tiny
print.
set of bamboo tongs to turn.
Ooh, going for arts and entertainment, my kind of gal.
You're just turning into Professor Frink now. Lady.
So yeah, Bart's trying to do some deep research to figure out how or who this kid was. He finds out that Willie knows the story.
Yeah, because he finds a 2-week gap in the school newspaper microfiche. And like it's like an article where Skinner is super cool and hip, and then 2 weeks later,
hard ass.
An article where he's a hard ass.
Yep.
And he's like, something happened there, and he sees Willie in the background.
So Willie takes him aside and tells him the story. It's very like ominous. Like Willie said,
heavy.
Promised never to say, and he tells a story that Willie wasn't groundskeeper Willie, he was swim instructor Willie.
Yep.
And Skinner has longer hair, and he's super cool. The kids like him. And he's climbed up to the top of the high dive. And he's like, hey, do a little showboating, little hot dogging.
Yeah.
He jumps off the high dive, only to see as he's about to land, it's all worms.
Yeah. Someone has filled the swimming pool with worms.
And for that to be it, as he's struggling in the 7 feet of dead and writhing worms, the goddamn automatic pool cover rolls him over, and you should go to prison for decades.
Yep.
If you do that. So he was trapped. How did he not suffocate? In the goddamn pool over the weekend in a writhing pile of worms.
I like that they kind of dole that information out little bit by bit, because it's Willie narrating the story, because he's telling Bart the story, and he's like, and he was left there all weekend, and then Monday was some manner of like teacher
something
workshop, so he was left there till Tuesday.
Yeah, I am not a lawyer. I don't know the law. That has to be at least 5 felonies.
Right? That's got to be an attempted murder in there.
Kidnap. There's got to be so much shit there. Like,
yeah, that's... Yep. And I love how Skinner comes out just the Skinner we know.
Yeah.
Like, he's so shell-shocked.
Yeah. This was a guy that not too much before this was in a POW camp.
Yeah. Skinner was in Nam
Yeah.
and came out cool, but then this ruined him.
Broke him. Yeah. So Bart eventually tracks down an immature man named Andy Hamilton. I think I got that name right. He was the Bart before Bart. He might have even out-Barted Bart.
Yeah, because he's the one who did the worm prank.
Yeah.
Voiced by?
Oh, I couldn't quite pick it. I like to try pick it up.
Yeah, so do I.
I couldn't this time.
This one I did. Jonah Hill.
You're right. That was Jonah Hill. Yep. Which, it fit him enough, I guess. But
it works, yeah. This was one where I was like, this hit that middle ground for me where it's like, you use him enough to where it's worthwhile to get a famous person in, but you didn't make the episode about this famous person.
Good point.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I like that.
So he ends up, Bart finds out where he lives. He still lives at home. Shocker. He shows Bart highlights of his best pranks while also fucking pranking Milhouse. And it ends with him being bit by a goddamn cobra. So like they're watching this collection of highlights as Milhouse sits shivering as cobra venom courses through his little boy body. Like, that was a good visual of him lying there shaking.
Yep, shaking.
Like, yeah, poor Milhouse.
Fucked up.
Yeah. So, what do you think Bart thinks of him? He thinks he's the coolest guy that ever fucking lived.
Yeah.
That's
when he's so clearly just a
just
douche.
sad. So sad.
Yeah.
He's like kind of like Will Ferrell's character in is not Old School. Is it Wedding Crashers?
Wedding Crashers.
Still lives at home.
Still lives. Mom, the meatloaf.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is where Lisa plays this role a handful of times with the show, where she shines the harsh light of objectivity on Bart.
So good in this episode.
Let's like, hey, so explain him to me again. Well, he sounds like a loser, Bart.
Yeah.
Bart hasn't even heard. He's just like baffled. What? No, he's the coolest person ever. Like, they tell you about the worms. Like,
it's during that exchange where Bart goes, because she kind of breaks through to Bart pretty immediately, and cracks the shell, and that's when Bart calls out, "Dad, Lisa's making me see something from both sides again," which is such a funny tattle.
But you are right. It doesn't take him long before he realizes, oh fuck, Lisa's on a sudden.
It's by the end of that scene in her bedroom where he's like, "Oh wait."
Because then the story jumps forward. Now it's Bart trying to help him.
Yeah.
Like this is a sad life you're living. So he calls in a favor with Krusty to get Andy a job. I'm trying to think what his title is. He just a driver?
A second assistant.
Okay. Yeah. And surprise, he sucks at it.
Imagine that.
Yeah. This is a guy that hasn't been employed and he's in his 30s. Would you say his 30s is how old he's supposed to be?
I would assume so, yeah.
Because he doesn't look like Mr. Van Houten. He's not that age yet. Like,
if you made me
he's
guess,
Otto's age.
I'd say 36.
Yeah,
he's my age.
Yep. So all your pranking days coming back to haunt you. Now you're gainfully. Look at you living alone.
I'm way ahead of Andy.
Yeah.
I'm way ahead of Otto.
Yeah.
Now I'm just bragging.
Yeah. What a brag.
The hubris.
I'm doing better than a fucking drug-addled, burnout bus driver. Got a hell of a head of hair for a man his age, though. Otto. Fucking Otto's got some goddamn lettuce.
I know.
Never thought of that.
Fucking hate
He's got
it.
Slash hair.
He does, yeah. I hate him for it. Mine's leaving me.
So he sucks at it. He lasts one day, which is good.
Before quitting.
Yeah. Bart finds out. Bart is not happy. Like, Bart is now his parent. Mm-hmm. Like scolding a middle-aged man, but tells Bart to go back. Bart finds out that he's I think maybe he brings Milhouse with him. They're on the set, and that's when they see like a truck, like a worm company. He's like, oh dear God, no.
Yeah, prank grade worms.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Pally is driving it.
Hey, Pally.
I've just decided, I decided in this episode, 21 seasons in my notes, I'm just calling that guy Pally.
By far the one character we see the most of that doesn't have a name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. I think maybe we have seen or gotten a name, but I think she's played different characters. Successful Lady, that voice.
Lindsay Nagel.
Lindsay, there you go. Yeah, we do occasionally get her name.
Successful, short-haired blonde lady.
Yeah, we get like Successful Lady.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't seen her in a while.
No. Or maybe we've gotten versions of her voiced by the same woman, but done with a different.
Yeah. Because her voice stands out. She's pretty. Successful Lady sounds like a racehorse, by the way.
Right? Put it all on Successful Lady.
Or a drug.
Yeah.
Let me get 3 hits of Successful Lady.
Yeah. Or a video you watched in FHA in the 70s. Are you? Woman's lib is here to stay. Are you ready to conquer the... And just all of it's backhanded. As a woman, you will not be able to do this. Your emotions will stop you.
Something you look back on now like, this is what we were showing the girls.
Yeah. The fellows in the office will say things about your appearance. Remember, smile.
Remember,
laugh it off.
A pat on the bottom is just as good as a promotion.
Call it an attaboy.
Someday you can reach the top rung of head secretary.
Each pat on the bottom lifts you up the ladder.
Someday you'll make minimum wage and have all the cigarettes you can smoke.
Just a punch bowl of Chesterfields.
Loose, not in packs, just
a mound of loose
cigarettes.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So now it's a race against the clock. Bart's frantically trying to find Krusty to make sure nothing happens to him. And he comes into the studio and Krusty's like on top of a high dive.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no, it's happening again. He sees the pool full of the worms. He somehow on like a trapeze swing.
Yeah.
Because Krusty's diving and he's like, I was like, what are you like? It's a good like goofy gag. He has all this. It's like I have the parts manual for my 1981 Cadillac and all this other dumb shit.
Bart's trying to hold him after catching him. He's like, "How much do you weigh?" Well, I'm always packing.
Yeah.
He's got this
giant revolver,
huge long barrel revolver, and the fucking manual to his Cadillac.
So despite what Bart's best intentions, he still falls. And it turns out it was intentional because Krusty found out about Andy's knack for goof-em-ups, and he's now a writer on the show.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you know Andy? He's one of these. Maybe he is the head writer now. Yeah, I think he's head writer.
Yeah, and he's got a gal.
He's got a gal who's really into him, and Bart's like, huh, I guess he did turn it around.
I'll be damned.
Yeah. So that's pretty much that story. I got a hunch we're never going to see Andy Hamilton.
Probably not.
He's a one-time character.
Yeah.
The other story is Marge. Apparently, all the moms kind of have a baby get-together group because we have Selma and/or Patty, whoever has the adopted kid.
Yep.
Apu's wife of one of her babies.
Whose name I don't remember.
Is that the bully baby with the unibrow?
Yep.
His
Bully
mom?
who also has a name that I don't remember. That bully baby has a name.
And there's maybe one more
I feel like there's a couple that I didn't quite know who they
peripheral.
were.
Yeah. Is successful Asian lady, is she there with a baby? I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think who else could be moms, but anyhow, the baby, they're listening to some kind of Raffi type music. Like, what's the song? Is it "Don't Poop in the Tub"?
Don't poop in the tub.
Yeah.
And I was watching this
while pooping in a tub. Oh, the right. My secret shame.
I was watching this, and when I was listening to that song, it had never, I'm 36, it had never occurred to me, I bet babies poop in the tub all the time, and that's horrifying.
Oh.
Like, I was already pretty anti-baby, as we know, but it had never once crossed my mind, and I'm just like, oh, God. Oh, the horror. I can't imagine.
I clearly remember what had to be one of the worst days of my mom's life as a parent. I was like
Good start.
5 or 6 and I was in a mood. I didn't want to get in the tub and I'm just putting up a fuss. And finally, you get in the goddamn tub, I'm going to start you on fire, whatever mom say. And enough for me, but then I got to bring all my toys in the tub. So now the bathtub's half fucking He-Man guy. There's got battles going on. And I'm just, but the thing with the kid, they'll fight a bath till the end, but you get them in there. They don't want to leave because now it's water time. We're having fun,
Sure.
So now I'm in the tub and my mom, as a Jordan, I don't know, he was a baby, brings him in and she just throws him. That was the thing. If you're a little kid, sometimes a baby would just get thrown in the tub with you. And I'm like, look at this lump. He ain't no fun. And he's big enough he can sit because, like a newborn can't sit.
Right.
He's just sitting there and I'm looking at him. I'm playing toys. All of a sudden, he just shits everywhere. And I do like a Stifler, like, yes, like from old school. And I'm like clapping and celebrating. Mom, Jordan poop, Jordan poop. So she's finally had a moment's peace. And now there's shit in the tub. And he's just a baby. Oh, that's what I do, I guess. And she was so at her wits' end. And she's like, get out. Get out of the poop water. And I'm like, I got a thing with He-Man and Stratos. They got to save somebody. Like, I often remember explaining to my mom, like on a rational level, why something couldn't be done because something my action figures had to take care of.
Oh, yeah. Let me wrap up this first.
Like, oh, did the Snake Men are invading?
I got a whole thing going with Mechanic.
The Horde, Mom. The Horde of come.
If you would give me a moment, Manny Face is in the middle of something right now.
I'll let you know when I'm done. And then But yeah, just having people casually shit in your bathtub.
I can't imagine. It never crossed my. Never once have I thought, "Hey, I bet babies shit in the tub," now I can't not think about it. I bet they shit in the tub all the time.
I bet that's a good casual shit. Just release it into water.
You should let me know. You should test that and find out.
I bet that's a good dump.
I bet that's a relaxing double. Yeah.
Oh, you don't even realize it sometimes.
Just lean back and just, there we go.
All done. Just like scoot your bottom against the bottom of the tub, get a little cleanup.
You're at your buddy's apartment.
They can hear the noise of my butt scooching against the wet tub bottom.
He's been in that bathroom a while.
That motherfucker shit in my tub. No. You waffle stomping? That sounds like waffle stomping.
I thought you just leave a log in your buddy's tub.
Oh my God, I would fucking murder someone if there was like a half foot of rancid bathwater and just one big log floating in it. You're not even sick. That's a healthy man's dump. Like, I'd get it if it was diarrhea. I mean, I'm still not cool with it. Like, Jesus, like I haven't shit that healthy in 20 years. You gonna do that in my bathtub?
I'm doubly mad because that means that you didn't have to, and you did it.
This was a tub dump with malice. Like, this wasn't an accident. You weren't just soaking in the shit.
That's such a good Manowar song.
Tub dump with malice.
It's 11 minutes long. Oh, fuck.
So they're having a baby get together. And Marge, ever the hostess, brings out some snacks. And they are mortified because Marge brings out Hydroxy O's.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't thought of Hydrox cookies in a minute.
Me neither. I feel like I saw some somewhere recently. I was in a fucking dollar store or something.
I was just going to say, that's where they pop up.
I was like, oh yeah, the fucking off-brand Oreos.
I think I saw them in a drugstore not that long ago.
Maybe that's why. Yeah, because I'm trying to think. I don't know the last time I was in a dollar store.
It's awesome that that's a thing. They're kind of like the RC Cola. They're not a store brand. They're a thing.
No,
you order Hydrox, but good for them to not get out of the cookies and cream game.
I've always thought it was the weirdest fucking name because it sounds like something you put on a cut or a scab.
That has to be back from like the 40s or something.
Yeah.
Like, when like unnatural chemical things were seen as the wave of the future. So
so they used the name. Oh, we're going down to the soda shop and getting a phosphorus.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like shit like that.
That's a good way to describe it. Like these chemicals should make everything better. Like, why is the lake
Back
boiling?
In the fucking 50s.
Yeah. So Marge has now been ostracized by her friend circle, and she has become determined that they're only going to eat good food. They go to a place called Wellness Foods, which has to be Whole Foods.
Yeah, that's the logo. It's Whole Foods.
That's what I like about this show is you just remember, this would have been around the time
that this was becoming a thing.
Whole
I thought the
Foods,
same
Trader
thing.
Joe's type shit.
Yeah, I've still never been to a Trader Joe's or a Whole Foods. I've been to, like, we have a knockoff Whole Foods here in town. I've been there.
I've been to Trader Joe's. I've never been to a Whole Foods. Trader Joe's is a little bit different. It does have a hippie vibe.
Yeah.
But it's also like, here's a bunch of random ass hot sauces.
Right.
Like,
it's not one to one. They're not the same thing, but they both occupy their own boutique
cutesy
corner.
pie.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get Red Baron pizzas at either.
Which is why I don't go there.
They're not in my lane.
Yeah. I don't go to places that don't sell Red Baron
I literally
pizza.
can't fit in their lanes. Gonna hang out in the entryway and beg people to bring me things.
Just with money in hand. Like, can you please bring me something?
I like those little pickles.
Boy, my improv really fizzled out there. Bring me something.
Little thing. Yes, and?
Whew.
So that's what they're up to. She is now determined. The family, not impressed, as I wouldn't have been as a young kid. Like, I don't want to eat sad adult food. I want snacks. So at the next play date, Marge is fucking loaded for bear. She's going to wow them with all these random-ass, obscure, healthy things she wants them all to eat.
Yeah.
And they're all happy about the food, and then they notice that she's using plastic cups that have some level of plastic in them. And then, oh no, the first thing is that she's using a non-stick frying pan.
Like, oh, that's full of poison. Like, oh, these fucking parents.
Leaching chemicals from the non-stick stuff. Like, so yeah. And then basically, I think, does she just kind of give up? Like,
yeah, like that was kind of the last, because they go running off. They immediately take all of their babies into a passing ambulance.
Yeah, like
and
as if it was like a propane leak in the house or something like that.
These parents are all horrible.
Yeah, so she's finally like, I can't win. Like,
yeah, that was essentially, that was like her moment of like, well, fuck it then.
Yeah, screw these people. Good for you, Marge. That's a game you can't win. They're all going to keep one-upping each other.
Yeah. And the next time we see her is when she's upstairs. She has torn up the carpet and found Homer's junk food stash.
Yeah. And Homer is alarmed, but kind of into it.
He's into it.
Yeah.
And then they just have a junk food bang.
Yeah. The best bang of them all. Just waking up to a Charleston chew stuck to your abdomen.
You got to be careful. You can lose a Charleston chew in enough folds.
What a thing to find. Like a shower.
I'm not a Charleston chew person.
I haven't had one in so long, I can't remember if I like them or not. I literally was single digits in age last time I had a Charleston chew.
Yeah, it's also been probably 15 years since I've had one, but I remember them being unpleasant.
Okay.
Like, they're so the chew is too much.
Too much chew. They were, for me, a random ass, someone gave this out for Halloween candy.
I was about to say, for Halloween. I don't think I ever had one not at Halloween.
Yeah. So, God, some of the ways these discussions of episodes, they don't mention Charleston chews once in that show, but here we are.
Here we are, talking about getting it stuck to your nude undercarriage.
Yeah. Just falling out of one of your many plinko body folds. Blop, bloop, bloop, blop, bloop. Oh, I shit in the shower again. Oh, wait.
God,
this is different.
How alarmed you'd be if you were cleaning yourself in the shower and clunk, a Charleston chew fell out of your body.
Well, I'll be. That's what that was.
Where was that stuck on?
Yeah. I thought sometimes I keep a rolled up thing of silverware with the napkin for emergencies.
It's been riding the small of your back for 2.5 days.
I don't want to brag, but I don't have any small of the back folds yet. That's a sign. Mix in some more salads. When you got the full muffin top, you got that 360 muffin top. Holy shit.
Oh, fuck. Next episode is episode 7, Rednecks and Broomsticks. The Simpsons are heading home from a ski resort. They left early so they could beat the traffic, and that didn't work at all. They are stuck in traffic. And go ahead.
I got a quick thing about the couch gag.
Okay, which was it?
This one, so last episode we had a Christmas-themed couch gag. This one, we have a Thanksgiving theme couch gag.
Oh, I remember that. They do like the Norman Rockwell painting and then all eat in front of the television anyway.
Without rules, we have chaos. We can't have Christmas couch gags before Thanksgiving.
That didn't even dawn on me when watching it.
That's just this is getting under my craw moment. My editorial.
Andy Rooney over here.
America's Barley Basket editorials.
Awesome. Yeah, you break in with one of those anytime you want, bud.
Truth to power.
So they're driving home from the ski resort. They're something like damn near 600 miles away from home. And the kids are bored, but they find a bonket. And I remember the Bop It. I remember seeing the commercials for the Bop It during like Saturday morning cartoons, wanting one, never having one.
You are absolutely the right age for that.
Yep, I am exactly the right age for a Bop It.
My friends that had younger siblings your age all had Bop Its.
Bop it, crank it, pull it, twist it, whatever.
I remember like I'd pick it up, I'd be like, this is dumb, and then I'd start playing. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm getting into this.
Yeah, oh, wait. Yeah. It's like a real complicated Simon Says almost.
Yeah.
Like, just do what you're told. That's a machine that tells you to do what you're told.
How did Simon Says the game work? Do you remember, like, are you talking about the device?
Yeah.
The device called Simon?
Yeah.
Was that like different colored squares you'd hit, or am I thinking of something else?
The one I have in my head is like a circle, and the circle is divided into 4 quadrants, so they're all kind of half moon shaped, and they're each a different color, and they each play a different sound. So it's like green, blue, red, red, and then you do it. Green, blue, red, red.
Okay.
So you like, because that way you can identify it a few different ways. The color, the note that it plays, and it does a sequence, and then you repeat that sequence.
And are you kind of playing against yourself to see how far you can get, or do you have an opponent, like, that it's another kid's turn? You know what I mean?
I was an only child,
Yeah.
so I was...
Your mom would read the instructions, get sad, and throw them into the wood stove. Now your boy can make all sorts of new friends. She just looks out the window to the nothing expanse
Just a
ahead.
tumbleweed goes blowing by. A decrepit old skinny horse collapses in the distance.
Looking at like the FAQs, can cloven hoofed animals play Simon? Buttercup can be here.
I'm showing it to one of the pale calves, like, come on. You suck at this.
You playing whist with 3 barnyard animals. Fine, Sprinkles. I'll shuffle for you.
You're going to have to do this on your own someday. Come on. But they're driving home. The kids are playing Bonk It. I like how we get a good parent lie right away of, oh, we lost the batteries for that, unfortunately, from Marge, and she's holding them. And she drops them on the floor, and they immediately roll to the back seat. And Bart's like, oh, that's okay. We got a couple just rolled back here. So... And they put them in the Bonk It, and they're playing it, and it's relentless. This bit goes on for so long, and it's so funny.
Yeah, I did enjoy it.
God, I was laughing because it is relentless. Bonk it, twist it, pull it, yank it, push it, pop it. Like, it just
What a
goes
thing to have
on
in a
like
car
that.
with you.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, I'd lose my mind. That's probably why I didn't have a Bop It,
I
actually.
don't remember a whole lot of noise-making toys.
Like obnoxious toys.
I think maybe my brother had a See and Say. Remember
Okay.
those? They pull the string.
Yeah,
And like,
the cow says. Yeah. I think I had one of those.
Yeah.
But the Bonk It goes on for too long here, and at one point Homer fucking throws it out the window. It shatters on the freeway as they're driving home, and then it pans over to the next car where a dad is also losing it because his kids are playing with the Bonk It. He grabs it, hucks it out the window, and it flies into the back seat of the Simpsons car. So they're still playing Bonk It, and eventually the batteries die, like it's slowing way down. Bonk It. Like, and the batteries finally die, and Homer's like, oh, well, that's too bad. And Bart right away, it's okay, it plugs into the cigarette lighter and plugs it in, and that's too much power, so now it goes too fast and is somehow even worse and more insufferable. And then Homer finally snaps, throws it on the floorboard down by the pedals, and smashes it with his fucking feet. But then looks up to see that he's heading headlong into a fucking truck and goes to slam on the brakes, and the Bonk It is wedged under the brake pedal. And he shouts, oh, why do all of my actions always have consequences? And he fucking takes it off road, crashes through guardrail over the other interstate, like the opposing traffic, and ends up sliding the car out onto the ice. There's a fantastic Bambi joke here where Bambi and Thumper are doing the scene from Bambi where he tries to get him to walk on the ice, but then gets smoked by the Simpsons car. And the car comes to a stop in the middle of the lake and is about to crash through, but a mysterious figure, one by one, pulls all the family out before the car sinks into the lake.
Who would that mysterious figure be?
That would be motherfucking Cletus.
The slack-jawed yokel.
Oh, my God. I really like this episode, by the way. Yeah, so Cletus rescued them, and they're all at their house, him and Brandine and all the youngins. Homer is invited to drink moonshine with all the hillbillies.
That squad of hillbillies
is so good.
That Humpty Dumpty looking one is so ridiculous.
With the weird shaped head, and then you got just like classic like Duck Dynasty looking hillbilly.
Like a big ripped one.
Yeah, you got a big yoked country boy one. Yeah. And I love Homer's take of like he's a fucking moonshine sommelier.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm getting hints of this and that. I like that at one point he's like, oh, I'm getting hints of oak. Oh, wait, no, poison oak. Just such a funny thing to have in your hooch. You got much experience with fucking real deal Southern moonshine?
God, I don't know if one time as a teenager at a party, a guy handed me and a buddy like a empty Pepsi 2-liter full of some ominous liquid.
Always good. And a reused bottle.
Yeah. And a person we didn't know in rural, well, we should have known everyone at that party. And I remember I passed out or blacked out that night. And then for like a few years later, that night came up. In my head, that wasn't that uneventful because I drank to excess at that age. Mm-hmm. But my friend's like, oh, dude, I had a fucking seizure that night.
Jesus.
I was like, my mom found me. I was like, what did we drink that night?
Fucking starter fluid?
It was such a like we were both lamenting because both of us had a buyer that fell through, so we only had like 5 beers between the two of us. So fuck. And everyone else was being kind of stingy that night. So it was like, this is gonna suck. And just some fucking, I don't know if they were in their 20s or what the fuck their story was. Just came out of the woods like, hey man, we're gonna go back, but if you want this, it's yours. Like, hey, cool, thanks, dude. And just fucking drank fucking, whatever.
Oof.
Yeah. Think of that. Like, would you do that if someone knocked into your apartment or, hey brother, I'm getting arrested. So if you want to drink this fucking 2-liter with still the remnants of a Pepsi label on it with a fucking, I can't remember if it was a clear liquid or not, but we fucking guzzled that shit. It tasted like poison, but
no,
we got
I don't think I would.
Super buzzed.
I like to think I wouldn't.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to choose the fucking.
How many beers have I already had is the real question.
Yeah.
Am I stone sober? Then absolutely not.
Yeah. I got a decent buzz going. Let's fucking keep this Jeep running.
That I feel like that percentage becomes non-zero pretty quickly. We had, when I was a kid, pheasant hunting is super good where I come from. So we had these guys from North and South Carolina who would come up to train hunting dogs. And they would pay to let us use your land so we can train our dogs. And I remember one year they brought with a ton of fucking moonshine, all like individually bottled in not Dasani bottles, like 20-ounce bottles. And they would toss them out to the neighbors and everything just as party favors. Hey, thanks for, hospitality shit. And I remember, I can taste it still. It was so effervescent. It got so in your sinuses. It smelled and tasted like fucking gasoline, like horrible shit. And I'm like in my mid-teens, getting a little nip here and there. But like, I can't imagine just sitting down and being like, I'm going to have a glass of this. Yeah, for sure.
I wonder what it's most related to. Vodka? Because of how it must have a quick turnaround time. It can't be like whiskey. They can't be fermenting this shit for 7 fucking years. So like,
well, I think it's corn. I think most moonshine is corn.
It's corn based. Okay.
But like, I remember me and my old man sitting in the kitchen one time, and he had a bottle. I think he had just gotten it, and it was like, okay, let's try this. And we each took a little pull, and we're like, oh my god, like this is fucking ethanol. And I distinctly remember my old man like trying to light a spoonful of it on fire. So he's got a lighter and a tablespoon. He's trying to light it on fire, and he's like, I don't understand why it won't burn. But then he touched the spoon, and it was hot, and he's like, wait, what the hell? And he turned off the kitchen light, and the flame was so blue and so clear that you almost couldn't see it. He had to turn off the lights to be able to see how cleanly it burned. I was like, I don't know that anybody should put this in their body.
Yeah, you can run a sprayer plane off that.
This seems like a bad idea. Jesus. Yeah, so I think that was my only encounter with a real deal
Real, from the South, yeah.
Woof. So they're all drinking hooch. They love that Homer knows his shit. I know that it's a reference, but I don't know from what. The bear band that they have there.
Oh, that's a Disney thing, I think.
Is that?
Yeah,
okay. I thought so.
Yeah.
Second Disney reference of the episode then. Mm-hmm. I forget. I don't remember what cartoon that's from, but I like that they're bears, so they don't play instruments. They just smash shit, and the hillbillies dance to it.
Yeah.
It's fun. Lisa, in the meantime, is out in the woods. She's playing hide and go seek with a couple of Cletus's brood, but they can't count very high, so it's quickly dark. She has stayed out
abandoned
too
the
long.
game.
Yep. And she leaves and is a little lost and comes across a coven of witches. These three, I assume, teenage girls,
college,
early 20s. Yeah, like,
was there anything witchy in pop culture at this time?
I don't know if this is this maybe when like Wiccan became moderately popular among the alternative
like
crowd.
Would have been big.
Yeah,
that's
like
not witches.
By this point, Hot Topic's got its hooks in the kids.
Yeah,
like,
goth shit's
yeah. I could see. That's how I took this. Of like, this might be around the Hot Topic goth purple hair crowd. Yeah. So she finds these witches and. Lisa's talking about how I've got to get home so I can finish my pipe cleaner art project, and they say something spooky about like, maybe you won't have to worry about that, or whatever it is they put out into the universe. And then we get the next day. I like that Lisa's not good at art.
Yeah. That she has a weakness in her. Yep.
I think that's a fun little character twist. Like, she's not good at this. She's good at all the smart person shit and bad at this. And so she's panicking, not going to get this art project finished when a substitute teacher comes in and says that Miss Hover isn't here today, so everyone gets an A. And I don't think that's how that works.
That's not how that ever works. Yeah.
But... meanwhile, Homer and Cletus go on like a hooch tour. They're like taking a fucking a tour of everyone else's moonshine stills.
Yeah.
It's fun little like screen broken into panels. Fun little montage of
some
them,
of the things going on.
Yeah, them going around getting wasted.
Yeah.
Driving the whole time.
Yeah.
Lisa goes back, finds the witches, and is kind of kicking around joining them because, maybe you guys have
She needs
shit.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus they pitch themselves as like, no, we're alternative and love the earth. You know, they take that Wiccan thing.
Yeah.
Head Wiccan, by the way, played by Nev Campbell.
Oh, who was in The Craft.
Yep. I didn't recognize the voice, but then after looking it up was like, okay, that's good. That's good casting.
That crossed my mind. I was like, well, The Craft came out 14 years before this.
Right.
That was the first thing. Yeah.
But is, I think, still the most culturally relevant witch-related reference to make.
Witch movie.
Yeah. Like outside of The Witch, I don't know that there's a better one.
Yeah. You had Hocus Pocus for the kids.
Yeah. Oh, man, that movie's so good.
Really? That wasn't a part of my childhood at all. Never seen it.
I remember really liking that movie.
I've never seen The Craft either.
I don't know that I have.
Yeah. Didn't seem like it was for me.
Yes. I know. I have lots of friends who are super into The Craft, and they all look like exactly what you think they look like.
I'm just going to see. You know picture who I'm talking about, and you're correct.
You're correct. Nailed it.
It's a 75-year-old black man?
So Lisa's up in her room. She's looking up information on witches on Wikipedia, which I thought was fun. It's a real dumb joke. Bart loves that she's into this, like welcome to the dark side. He just sees a pentagram on screen and he's so excited.
That was good, yeah.
Meanwhile, Ned, doing a little peeping next door, he sees what Lisa's up to and calls the fucking police.
That's awesome.
On her. And so the cops come out and they shut down the witches because Lisa's about to get jumped in. Not jumped in, but like inducted. Yeah, there we go. So they get arrested, all these witches, and they are, we get Kent Brockman, reporting live outside of the courthouse. Your face. We're both going the same place for sure. He's like, oh, and here they are now, the horrible, ugly witches, and it's Patty and Selma.
Already a good gag.
And then he's like, oh, well, clearly you're the victims of their horrible curse then. Already doubly a good gag. And then Selma or Patty, whichever, fires back of like, you didn't think I was so ugly when we were making out at some such and such.
In the booth at the seafood hut.
That's what it was. The booth in the seafood hut. And Kent Brockman fucking brings it home with, hey, we all did crazy stuff on 9/11.
How casually he says that. Because he's like trying to move on to the next story. Yeah, we all did crazy stuff on 9/11. Like,
holy shit.
Fucking did I laugh.
Man, I was dying at that bit. That's a perfect like always pass 3 times before you shoot. Like just bop, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck, that's so funny.
We all did crazy. Then like moves right on to Lisa or whoever, like the actual star of the interview.
The girls, the witches he turns to. Holy shit.
Another thing, not nearly as good of a pop as this. Another thing I got to laugh at just before this, when Homer and Cletus go to like this moonshine festival. There's like a full overshot of this huge ground.
Yeah.
If you notice, Kearney is like one of the people that's like sampling a bunch of...
I didn't notice that.
Just like a child, like a 10-year-old, I think he's supposed to be, which makes no sense. Like,
yeah,
I got a kick out of just Kearney amongst all the hill folk.
Yeah, that was at some like moonshine festival where they have all these tasting booths and shit, and they hear the cops coming, so they all kick their stills down the hill because they assume they're about to get busted. But that was when the cops were busting the witches. That becomes important later. The witches like say something along the lines of they cast some fucking fake ass spell about being struck blind, but then half the town fucking goes blind. Yeah. And everyone's panicking. What are we doing? Now it's like witch hunt at the courthouse. The case gets thrown out because there's just not enough there, and the town mobs up. Yeah. I have not written the words town mobs up in a long time.
A blind mob.
Yeah. And we go out to the lake, and it's fucking groundskeeper Willie has constructed the dunking stool.
Dipping stool,
the dipping stool. We're gonna, if they drown, they're innocent, and if they float, they're witches or whatever, that shit. And that's when Lisa shows up and is like, actually, the blindness came because when the fucking hillbillies kicked their moonshine down into the river, it went into the reservoir, into the drinking water, and made people go blind. And Homer takes a little dip out of the river, and being the expert that he is able to say, yep, that's fucking moonshine, all right. And then we pretty much wrap up that episode. I think Homer wants to ride the dipping stool, and he does, but then doesn't come back to the surface, and the hillbillies who were running the dipping stool just walk away. Yeah.
Because the weird Humpty Dumpty one makes like weird noises.
Yeah, he's like, as he walks away. And then like the credits start, but then we cut back to Lisa, who's ice skating and cuts a hole in the ice, and Homer pops up through it. Like this weird addendum, which I would have thought was like a dumb, unnecessary thing, but they're playing Donovan's Season of the Witch, and I love that song so much. Like as soon as the opening notes, boom, boom, ding, I'm like, okay, I'm completely on board. I love Donovan's Season of the Witch so much. Like most normal 36-year-old boys.
Yeah, big Donovan fan.
Huge Donovan fan. That was fun. I liked that episode a lot. Both A and B I thought were solid stories. And I got no complaints here.
Yeah. And I thought the first in this batch was fine. This one's a step above the previous one, but
I had no beef with that first one either. I also think the second one is better than the first, but
so if nothing else,
complaints.
Heading in the right direction.
Strong start, baby. Let's keep it going.
Let's see where episode 8 takes us.
Do it.
Oh, brother. Were Bart thou? I got a kick out of the beginning where Homer and Lisa are watching some show that shows how candy is made.
It's supposed to be Unwrapped. It's called something else, but Unwrapped is the real show.
Oh, interesting.
With, is it Scott Summers?
The old Double Dare guy?
Summers.
Yeah.
He used to be on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, Double Dare guy.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
him.
Oh,
Yep.
shit.
He used to host
I did not know.
How It's Made, but food.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to watch that show a lot, actually.
And that's what I think is so good about it. It's just supposed to be a fun, unoffensive, interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a basic cable thing you can watch mid-afternoon.
And he's doing gumdrops, which are the best.
And the host is a very polite man. He's interviewing a very nice older man who runs the gumdrop company, and he just casually drops. I wish I had the exact wording, but it's like, our gumdrops are made from the bones and hooves of only the sickest horses.
Oh my God, it's so good.
And it cuts to all these sick horses in like a fucking Hellraiser type scenario.
Spinning blades and shit.
These emaciated sad, and of course Lisa loses her mind, which causes Homer to panic. So Homer just slapping at the remote trying to get it. So it just keeps turning from one thing to the worst.
Oh God!
And back to the horses. So that was a good gag to start it off.
He turned to some manner of daytime technical Emmy award
That's
show.
what it was, yeah.
And Lisa's back to the horses.
Whatever the boring award was, there was a 3-way tie.
And the majority of the audience goes on stage to accept it. That was a good joke.
Oh, yeah.
Also, where do you stand on a gumdrop?
If you hand me, what I saw, I thought of that as a dot.
Yeah,
Dots
is a brand of gumdrops.
Okay, yeah. I like a chewy treat, but they really get stuck up in your shit.
Yeah, they do.
But I have, again, talking back to random ass Halloween candy. Every once in a while, you'd get the little individual box of gumdrops with like 5
3 dots.
Is that what it was? Yep, 3.
I think 3 or 4.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is neat. I got 74 mini Snickers. I'll take a little thing of dots, but never in a million years would I go out of my way to buy some dots.
I ate a movie theater size box of dots less than 24 hours ago.
No shit.
I fucking love dots.
In a movie theater or just out in the world?
I found them in a gas station
Really?
on the way back from the cities on Saturday. I was like, I stopped in Rothsay, Minnesota to put fucking gas in and use the bathroom, and I was like, motherfucking dots. Yeah, I want dots.
Yeah, you're more of a gummy boy. I'm more choco boy.
I'm a gummy fruity boy. Yeah. That's what I've always been called.
Your high school guidance counselor. He's like prodding you in the yard. He's a gummy fruity boy.
So I fucking love gumdrops. I was pretty into the front half of this.
And the other thing going on in the house, so there's a storm a-coming, and a big snowstorm hit Springfield, and Bart is jazzed. We get him old-timey listening to like an AM radio. And I did like the idea that Skinner and Chalmers like to toy with the children's emotions. Like, also cancel the Springfield Elemonte School for second language learning or something like that. Like,
and Springfield Elemental Periodic Table Society or whatever. They mess with them.
Yeah, so that was a good gag. But eventually they do announce that Springfield Elementary is canceled, and Bart is excited. As a kid, what were your thoughts on snow days?
I don't think I was that much of a fan because that meant you had to stay home and work.
And I used to always think it didn't take me long. I was fairly young when I realized, this just means an extra day of school gets added to the end of the year. Or a 4-day weekend gets shortened to a 3-day week. I was very pragmatic with my free time. I wanted maximum quality free time.
Yeah, and as many in a row as you can. So you don't want to go to school on Easter Monday just because we had snow.
Yep,
I get that.
Exactly. And also, because I lived out of town, being at home is boring when you like, especially if it's either you're not old enough to drive or if the storm is so big you can't leave the house. It's like, no.
Yeah, back home it was always just like, it's a snow day. Good, I get to go in the grain bin and shovel barley into the auger because we got to fill creep feeders today.
I know where I grew up, and we had a handful of rough winters. Some of the smaller schools in like the upper North Dakota were having call, because that's another thing that would happen. Sometimes school would just be late.
Yeah.
Like be like a 11 a.m. start. So you'd miss, or you get sent home early. Hey, shutting her off at 1 p.m. today.
Yeah, because
that
the
I
weather.
kind of like, because I knew we weren't making that shit.
That was a
up.
fun treat.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. But I know that there was a handful of schools. They did like a big write up in the papers about it. There were a handful of schools that were like late or early, like 60% of the days from December till March.
Man.
And someone like in Bismarck was like, these kids are like literally missing a third of their education. So the rule became if you start more than an hour late or leave more than an hour early, that day had to get made up.
Oh.
That got passed when I was in high school. They fucking buttoned up and leave it early. Well, but then there were like scheduled. I used to love the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. That was always a leave early day.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I don't think we ever did.
I think I almost I'd almost rather have a day like that than not even have school at all, because there's something about that day because you know it's going to be a fuck around day.
I was just about to say, like, I was always way more excited for a wasted school day than a not be at school day, because then I get the best of both worlds. I get to not be at home and not really have much. That was always my favorite part of like the last week of school. No one's doing fucking anything the last week.
Oh, you're right. That was like always, classes are short today. You know, we got a 4-day weekend coming up. Yeah, we'll watch a video.
Watch a movie.
Or, you know, here, just treat it like a study hall. You just playing grab ass with your buddies for fun.
Yeah, if you've got work to make up, if not, whatever. Like, for me, that was usually the time I would go work in the library. I volunteered at the library in my school, in high school, because I was cool, as we've covered.
Like all the jocks
I was a gummy fruity boy.
Yeah. I can eat my gumdrops in peace. Pull his pants down. Oh. Even the librarians have turned on me.
That was a librarian. Oh, I got too much gumdrop in my teethers to get this newspaper on the stick. It's so hard.
Getting pantsed by a librarian. You're just in a quiet area, putting books on the shelf. Right to the ground.
You just, just drop a Mrs. Handyguard. Why?
I'm here to help.
Did I get my Dewey Decimal mixed up?
You're just so defeated by adolescence. You don't even pull them up. You just keep putting books on the shelves and just doing side steps with your pants.
Okay, T after S, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we'll keep
putting shit on the shelf.
I'll pull my pants up when I get to the end of the aisle. Fucking getting pantsed. The kind of things you just eventually have to stop worrying about. I don't miss having to worry about getting pantsed. God, a buddy of mine got in high school, when you think you should be past it, fucking a mutual friend of ours ran by him and in a perfect fluid motion pulled his pants and underwear down to his ankles. He was standing in front of about 20 people in a semicircle. So cock and balls out within 5 feet of countless fucking peers. Handled it like a true G. Just let out an exasperated exhale, like, and just calmly pulled his pants up.
You've got to try to be nonplussed.
Yeah, don't get shook. That ain't gonna help anything. Like, well, where was I?
if you're all, geez, what am I gonna do? Yeah.
You don't want to take off running. That guy's got an advantage. Yeah.
Yeah, by the time I feel like pantsing died in elementary. We all left that behind.
Oh, junior high was at a fever pitch.
I feel like junior high all the
way. They're gonna be boners. That's troublesome.
Junior high all through high school, we had graduated almost exclusively to like nut taps and titty slaps. Like that was
gleeking. Never a thing.
No, we've talked about that before. No, never a thing.
A regional thing. God, nut taps. There was a certain, I think homophobia ran so rampant that a lot of that shit was like, you gay?
Oh,
that was the way to turn the tide against the nut tappers.
Oh, I feel like I've suffered through fucking 5 straight years of always be on your guard.
Oh yeah, there was just a couple people that would
I
be
think
that.
Jackass did that actually. Now that I'm thinking about it,
you're the right age where that. I was just out of school when that started. So
yeah, like the question of like, what are you, gay, never would have fucking crossed anybody's mind. Like a bully would have pulled someone's dick and balls out and set it on fire in his hand. You know what I mean? Like no one would have ever been like, you're really getting a handful there, dog. Like no one.
Lusty look in your eye.
Wouldn't have any crossed any of our minds.
Oh, really? Yeah, that would have definitely went that direction in my school. So outside of children grabbing other children's genitals, what?
I don't like when you say it like that.
It's not as fun. It's not as jovial.
Man, when you really distill it down, it's
alarming.
weird.
It's troubling.
It's like seeing someone's jokes written.
Yeah,
You're This is problematic.
He's not a good person. We're buddies, but I don't like all this asshole talk. So Bart he's enjoying it until the power goes out. Well, that'll happen in a big storm. He's, a child of technology. He's baffled, like, well, I'll just watch this DVD. And Marge has to calmly explain that everything he enjoys in life is powered by electricity.
Also, I think the first time we hear Obama's name mentioned in this show, because he's like, surely that can't run on electricity too. And Marge is like, she does Marge face. Yeah. And he just goes, really? Does Obama know about this? And I think that might be the first time we've heard his name.
Yep, I'd agree with you. If it happened before, it was so quick, it wasn't even noticeable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We also, we breeze past it here, but that scene of Homer fucking making fun of Lisa for believing in global warming when it's snowing outside. Yeah. Of course Homer's that shithead. Yeah. Like, of course he is. I got a good chuckle out of that.
And Lisa calmly... It's not global warming, it's climate change. It can lead to extremes in both directions.
Yep, she's just slowly trying to explain it to her dad. Of course Homer is that guy.
Yep. So Bart is bored and just then he hears some commotion going on upstairs in the other room. And I got a kick out of Lisa and Maggie are doing like a flashlight fashion show.
Yep.
Which there's some cute Maggie in this. Yeah.
I'm not one for children, but this whole bit is adorable.
And I do like, this is such a childhood thing. Like, this is dumb. Well, then why are you here? I want to play.
Yeah.
Because I want to
play
with
at
your grandma's and it's just all the girls and this is stupid. And then you're so bored. Well, I want to play the stupid game. Like, it's so Bart's outfit. It's a belt by Twizzler. It's a vest by Nelson.
Yeah.
And Maggie has these giant sunglasses on and appears to be making notes.
Writing in a notebook. And what pushes Bart over the edge is "and tights" by Hello Kitty.
Yeah. Because what does he think? Oh, I thought these were Spider-Man.
I thought they were Spider-Man faces as he's furiously trying to get his tights off over his shoes.
Was Hello Kitty a part of your childhood?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I just like the iconography of Hello Kitty.
Like, where did it start from? Like, I know what it looks like.
I think it's a Japanese cartoon, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that adds up.
It's one of those, like, I would have to double check to be sure which came first. Was it the cartoon or the toys? Because you run into that a lot, even with American toys. Like, was the cartoon...
Which inspired which?
Yeah, He-Man. Which was first, the cartoon or the toys?
Yeah.
It's one of those things with Hello Kitty, but it started in one of those two places, but I think it was the TV show.
What was I going to say? I'm trying to think of an example. Usually it's the toy first, or am I wrong? No, I'm wrong.
I think you're wrong.
Yeah, He-Man, it was the toy first, Transformers, G.I. Joe toy first, but I think you got into the 90s. Often a cartoon would pop, let's make a toy out of this.
And then like Turtles, the show first.
Was it really?
Yeah, well, technically the comic book first. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Comic, then show, then toys.
That's wild. I never would have guessed that.
But like He-Man and I think Transformers were toys
first. Yeah, He-Man was probably around for like 3-4 years before the show, I think.
And then those fucking shows are just advertisements for the television.
Yep. That's why they always hot glue a like PSA at the end, like, hey kids, don't start your sisters on fire. And that's one to grow on, like, because like the government got involved.
Yeah.
Like, this is just rotting children's brains. Now it's like, hey, don't.
And then you have like Transformers the movie where it's like, we're going to kill off a bunch of those old ones and introduce a bunch of new ones because we got new toys to move, baby.
That movie, hard in the paint for children of that age. Like, Optimus Prime's dead? Yes. Also, when you change your oil, don't dump it in a creek. What? That's one to grow on.
Thanks, Roadblock. Wait, he's G.I. Joe. What's happening?
I know when you're at a college party, you want to do an upper decker, but that's not good. That's a rental property. They don't own that toilet. And that's one to grow on. What's going on?
They should bring back like cartoon PSAs now.
Yeah. I know your grandmother's old. Don't steal her identity. Thanks, Shipwreck.
Listen, kids, don't vape Clorox in the bathroom at school.
Don't cut off your oxygen supply to get a weird buzz.
Listen, kids, you might think it's funny to cyberbully that girl into killing herself, but it's not.
You'll be in your 30s and regret
Roadblock. It's still Roadblock for some reason.
it. Sure. She went to the weird church and she's shaped like a fire hydrant. We all see it. She's got enough going on.
I like the idea that Roadblock gets a couple digs in there, too.
They show the girl. This is low hanging fruit. You're better than that. Try make one of the popular girls self-harm. So but Bart disrupts because he doesn't want to wear Hello Kitty, and Lisa's like, well, like still kind of like realizing she has the power here. It's like, well, you're just jealous. Like, what am I jealous of? Like, well, me and Maggie, we have a thing that you'll never have. Like, a sisterly bond is more powerful. And like she pulls Maggie close.
Yeah.
and Bart is right away kind of like, that's dumb. But then I think he kind of realizes it. He sees how much fun they have together.
He is pretty quickly sad and jealous.
Yeah, he gets sad in a hurry. He has this dream where he dreams, is it Bro Town?
Yeah, I think it's Bro Town.
All of these famous brothers.
This is amazing.
Yeah, and I'm not always not a fan of these fantasy scenes, but this is a good one. We get the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, the Wright Brothers.
The Wright Brothers, the Cough Drop Brothers. I can't think of their names.
Smith Brothers, I think, is the brand of that cough drop.
Yeah, the Marx Brothers.
The Marx Brothers.
See.
Yeah, the Mannings.
Oh, yeah, where they're teasing the older one.
Cooper, yeah. Keep away from Cooper.
Yeah.
Keep away from Cooper.
Cooper, who I believe did play Division I SEC football as a wide receiver, I think
so, but was more of a star basketball player, I think.
Oh yeah, he was a good basketball player too. Yeah, but so that good of an athlete, you played D1 football in the SEC, and you're light years behind your brothers.
Right?
What a weird life.
What freaks your brothers must be.
Your dad and your brothers are all infinitely better athletes than you. Like,
Archie was a
quarterback.
Okay.
I don't know. He was a starter for years, but kicked around.
Played for the Saints a long time.
A hot minute with the Vikings for a weird. Yeah, he was kind of a quarterback for hire at the end. He would have been kind of like, who's the guy? Ryan Fitzpatrick, Fitzmagic.
Yeah, who played for Buffalo.
You're old. You're good enough to start for a bad team.
Sure, but not good enough to start for a good team.
We have a weird transition year. We need a guy to just fill this job, go 5-11, and get sacked a bunch. You got it in you, Archie? Archie would. Just remove, hey, hon, load up the wagon. We're moving to Cincinnati. They need a quarterback to beat up here and then suck so they can draft a good one.
Yep. All of these brothers, though, pale in comparison.
I knew the one you were going to enjoy.
To the fucking tour to the fucking the highlight of all these brothers, the Smothers Brothers.
Yeah.
Played by Tom and Dickie, playing themselves. I lost my mind.
Yeah,
I lost
knew
it.
you.
I fucking lost it during this part because I adore the Smothers Brothers.
So interesting.
You have to get the Smothers Brothers in your life, Nathan. They're fucking comedy geniuses.
They were still performing when I was a kid. They'd pop up on like a Bob New or a Bob Hope special.
Sure, yeah. They're Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Like, I can listen to, I have it on vinyl sitting on that table. I can listen to Tour de Farce anytime, and laugh my stupid face off.
You enjoy that, but yet no affinity for Weird Al.
None. Doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
And if you spend more time with that's not apples to apples.
Yeah. Oh,
man.
no. I'm just thinking of musical comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
And I get that there is a charm to the Smothers Brothers.
Yeah, there really is.
What's the song they're singing? Something about cabbage?
Boil that cabbage down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boil that cabbage, yeah.
Because that was their whole thing. They do their shtick in this episode where they're singing some folksy folk song and then like interrupt and argue with each other and then finish the song. Boil That Cabbage Down is on Tour de Farce. That's on that record.
Yeah. That just sounds like an old bluegrass staple of some
absolutely.
kind. Yeah.
Like, I can see some fucking 60s hippie strumming this.
Man, this episode wouldn't have been too much longer or older or newer to have the Jonas Brothers. I was almost surprised. Like, we couldn't have missed them by much, I would say.
Yeah, this I love how much screen time they give the Smothers Brothers. I love that they're not
at the end.
Yeah, they're not just a one-off like the rest of the, like, they got Peyton, Eli, and Cooper Manning in this episode, and they're immediately overshadowed by the Smothers Brothers.
Most of these writers were born in the 50s, so they're the right age to enjoy the Smothers Brothers.
Yeah.
You would be some sort of abnormality that
I was legit aflutter during this. I was like, look how much screen time they're getting. I was so excited about the Smothers Brothers being here.
Oh man, I hope there's a Smothers Brothers convention that you can go to.
Oh my God, I'd go today.
If anyone is within 20 years of your age,
not a chance. It'd be me. I'd be the only one there without a wheelchair and or oxygen tank.
Whose grandson is that?
And I might take a couple pulls off the tank or the chair just because I'm big and tired.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like I'm with you in spirit.
I'd be the only one there with a scooter for a different reason than everybody else.
This incline is gassing. This isn't even an incline. This is in a gymnasium.
Everyone should listen to Tour de Farce, and everyone should listen to the WTF with Mark Maron episode with the Smothers Brothers from a few weeks ago.
That's a good guest pull for him.
So fucking good. Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
I'm just going to say, I'm going to give you time.
Thank you.
Not often does one get
you.
Smothers Brothers in pop culture anymore.
This is probably my one and only.
Stretch those Smothers Brothers legs.
Oh my God, they're so good. Mom always liked you, but anyway, I can't just.
You can't go down.
No, can't do it. Okay, go ahead.
So, my note I just said, aren't you a fan of these dorks? So,
you and I should memorize and then perform on video some Smothers Brothers routines.
That sounds like something you've already done alone. You feel self-conscious about it.
So what's part do after this part?
Moving on. I hope you try it out for every year of like America's Got Talent. You're driving to a driving to St. Louis in your fucking your era appropriate Smothers Brothers garb and doing a one-man Smothers Brothers act, like half a mustache.
That's really funny, actually. Like, do Dickie's mustache on one side and clean shave it on the other.
You fucking know their first names.
Yeah, Tom and Dick. Yeah, Tommy and Dickie. Come on.
You like your buds.
What are you talking about? It's Tom and Dickie Smothers.
I haven't been out here in like 48 years. I'm gonna throw up. What do you mean? What do you mean? You don't know Ozzie and Harriet?
You're getting really red right now. Yeah, Dickie's the straight man with the mustache. He plays upright bass, and Tommy's the buffoon. He plays guitar, and he also is the yo-yo man.
Oh fuck! That yo-yo shit's real.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw up. I shouldn't be part of the world anymore.
Tommy Smothers was the yo-yo man. Dickie raced fucking cars in his meantime. He's a race car driver.
Oh fuck!
And then on the show, Tommy wrote anyway.
This is Jesus Christ.
And Nixon fucking canceled him because his dick.
Oh, God damn it.
You should spend some more time with Tom and Dickie
I think
Smothers.
you need to spend so much less time. Like, I'm so concerned. That was, oh man, you in bed talking to them like they're there. It's like you're praying. Are you there, Dickie? It's me, Marlon. Listen.
I got a yo-yo on my nightstand. Oh shit.
So, getting back to the Simpsons, Bart's new goal is to get a brother. That's what he wants real bad. So he talks to Homer about it. Homer doesn't want anything to do with having another kid. He explains there's a good scene where it's like they're out shoveling snow. He's like, well, here's why daughters are better than sons. It's like a time lapse thing, so it's obvious it's been hours of like
more and more snow is gone.
Yeah. And when they get to a certain age and ask how their bodies work, I can just say I don't know because I don't know.
Yeah.
It was well, you never explained how my body works. Well, you're a boy. Point and shoot. Is that what it is?
That's his whole advice. Yeah. Point and shoot. I noticed here, to the point where I wrote it down, during this scene, Bart is wearing a blue stocking cap with a red band and a red poof ball on top. And I wrote down, he's wearing Stan's hat from South Park. That's a cool little reference. Super subtle. I like that. And then immediately they do the least subtle South Park reference I've ever seen.
Which I'm kicking myself. Usually I'm good about this, digging in to find out why. It seems so ham-handed.
Yep, it seems super forced.
For those that haven't seen it, it's Nelson, Bart, Milhouse, and Ralphie.
Yep.
Like Nelson's the Cartman, Ralphie's the Kenny.
Yep.
And they're standing waiting. That's a common thing.
And Milhouse is Kyle.
Yep. A common thing in early South Park. Them waiting for the bus and just talking about things. They're talking about, like, Bart's talking about wanting a baby brother. And it just, why? Like, at this point, South Park is over a decade old.
Yeah, I'm not sure why now.
It just
why
seems,
now?
Yeah.
And they even, when that scene starts, they do the like acoustic guitar stinger that South Park often starts a new scene with. That da-da-dun,
well, they kind of bend the note. Yeah. Like, and then it's, you killed Ralphie or you killed Kenny. It's like, that's the wrong
Otto
show.
hits him with the bus.
Like,
It was so weird.
Yep. And not particularly funny.
No. And like you said, 10 years too late.
Yep.
It was very strange. But I love how my notes go from applauding how subtle this stocking cap reference was.
To the point I didn't even pick it up. Yeah.
I was like, that's clearly Stan's hat. That's super cool. Good on you, little tip of the cap to South Park. And then they do this scene and ruin everything I just loved.
And then, but then, to their credit, the episode turns around quickly. I did like the idea because I think it's Nelson or Milhouse plant the seed. Oh, you got to trick your folks. And I did kind of I like the idea that Bart has no idea how babies are made. So this is leaning a little too far that he knows more than he should.
Yeah.
Because it's like Milhouse gives him a Kama Sutra DVD. And then it's also like Bart, like Homer comes home from work and Marge is like, oh, this is great. Bart made us a romantic dinner for two. Like, why aren't you asking questions?
Yeah.
And they both just lean into it. They have a nice date night.
Yeah.
Homer
walks in. He's like, he sniffs at the air. He's like, is that tarragon crusted tilapia?
Yeah.
I was fucking, and then Marge goes, yeah, Bart made us a 5-course romantic dinner. And Homer sits down and goes, well, you had me at 5-course, then you lost me at romantic, but you got me back again at dinner. Jesus, Homer.
And they eat this just delectable feast, and they're both kind of, you can tell it's a date night. Hey,
yeah,
things
a little
are
frisky.
Yep. And it's like, well, it's like this or dessert. And Bart comes. There's another gag too. I have a passion fruit something
souffle
for two, and and then I have a single serving
and one
for mom.
Yeah.
So, knowing that his dad will eat a dessert for two, and the gag is they eat too much and they are not in the mood for anything like that.
Too bloated to bang.
Yep. And then the other gag is with the Kama Sutra is they are not good enough shape, because it's like Bart gets up and they're both like in some form of distress. Like Lisa's feeding Homer cereal. Like,
he's got his arm in a sling.
Yeah, he's just an
Mark has a neck brace on.
Like, ow, 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 ow.
Yeah, he's like, more Vicodin and eggs, please. I liked it. I thought it went on a little long with that Kama Sutra scene of you're outside the house so you don't see anything.
Oh, yeah.
But you hear just like, okay, now your ankle. Yep. Okay. And now let me grab your neck. And it like goes a long time. And then it's like, and you just hear bone crack and then shout. Like, I thought that was, it was obvious, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah. I'm going to go on record. I enjoy this episode.
Yep.
And there's a gag too. Oh, another thing, because it comes into play later. Bart does a pretty underhanded thing where he exchanges Marge's birth control for Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
But Marge walks in on it.
Immediately busted.
Yep.
Didn't work at all.
He like throws the Tic Tac container full of birth control out the window and lands on the sidewalk. Nelson walks by and me, oh hey, tactics, and he grabs him. Yeah,
which becomes such a fun recurring gag in this episode as you see Nelson later in this episode.
Yeah. And so, and Marge kind of lays into him. You can't do that. This is that. Like, but you're right. It's your body. And she's like, that's right. It is. So he goes down to the orphanage. That's his next means of getting a brother. He's like, one brother, please.
One brother, please.
Like it's a drive-through. And the woman at work in the counter, she's not in the mood. He's very
not into it.
Yeah, like, that's not how this works. So he goes, he tries a few different things, nothing works. But then one of the kids follows him home. Charlie, I believe his name is.
Yeah, Charlie followed him home.
Kind of has the vibe of like one of the ragamuffin kids that used to pop up. But he's...
Yeah, one of the orphan kids, yeah.
He's not sickly, though.
Right, he's a little less Tiny Timish.
Mm-hmm. That's, a very good way to describe it. And... before I'll get ahead of myself, the first Nelson thing we see is Bart discussing how much he wants a brother and fucking Nelson grabbing him. You deserve a brother. You deserve good things. So the estrogen is really hitting him hard. But back to Bart and Charlie, they headed off. He's like, how did you escape? I shimmied down a whatever. It's like, I like shimmying too.
Yeah.
And they become fast friends. They're having all sorts of fun, doing Bart shenanigans.
They get up to a bunch of hijinks. There's kind of a montage almost here.
And it's kind of all fun and games until they go to what's supposed to be a Saw movie called Sever.
Yep.
Sever 5. Yep. Bart, and does it realize, he's too little for this. And he's fucking shook.
Broke him.
Yeah.
He broke this kid.
Yep. You ever see a movie, just like you had it worse off than I did. It was hard to access super scary shit. You ever stumble into a movie that shook you real bad?
Boy, I don't know if I did. Like, I'll have to think about it, but I don't know that I have the experience that so many people do, especially my age and your age, of, I saw this too soon. Mm-hmm. Like, I saw this too young.
Yep.
I don't know that I have that.
Yeah,
Media content was pretty well policed in our home.
Yeah.
But I think the only movies that have ever like really rattled me, like really shook me, are like
Titanic.
Yes, I cried a lot.
Sinks.
It sinks? Are you kidding me? The Fourth Kind with Mila Jovovich gets a hold of me. Alien horror gets a hold of me.
Yeah.
Yep. Boy, I don't know what I'm trying to think. What else has really ever fucking really fucked me up?
Mine is, I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre at way too young of an age. And there's something else, but something that's it wasn't even good, but I saw it when I was like 6.
Sure.
So just like, that was when we got HBO, and I don't think my mom realized that shit's just unedited. It's just movies playing with no edits.
Yeah.
There's something else bugging me that I can't think of it. But yeah, I had a couple.
The only thing I remember shaking me as a kid, and it wasn't even like looking back, it's not because it was graphic or scary or whatever. But it fucking really rattled me as a kid. Was Harrison Ford's Witness, the movie where he's a cop and he has to live amongst the Amish in order to catch a killer. That fucking movie starts off with this like 8-year-old Amish boy, about the age I was, going into the city with his mother and using a public restroom, and there's a murder and he witnesses it through the crack in the stall door. And I, as a little kid, was fucking shook from public bathrooms for a long time.
Really?
Like, I was legit rattled. Like, because I was like, that's where murders happen.
I don't want to turn Amish.
That's where Danny Glover opens people's throats, because Danny Glover's the bad guy in that movie.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also, the first movie to star Viggo Mortensen. He's like one of the henchmen.
Oh, interesting. And Danny Glover as the bad guy.
Yeah, as the villain, and he's pretty fucking cold.
Oh, I bet he hasn't played that role in many of his
Other than Gone Fishing, yeah, I don't know.
Does he have a heel turning Gone Fishing?
He hits Joe Pesci with the chair when he's not looking.
Smothers Joe Pesci's mother. And it's not even part of the plot.
What the hell, Gus?
Why'd they write that in?
Yeah, that movie legit fucked me up as a kid. But just that part, not any of the other murders that take place in that movie. Not even when fucking Harrison Ford drowns one of the henchmen in the grain silo.
Yeah.
I was around grain silos all the time as a kid.
Of a grain silo mishap than a public bathroom.
But nope, fucking that public bathroom scene fucked me up for a long time.
Think how far you were growing up from a traditional public bathroom, besides just a Senex that has a normal bathroom in it.
Oh, yeah.
You ever had to drive
90
a while?
minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
From like the metal door that doesn't come to the ground. Like,
Right, yeah. To get into that kind of stall, 90 minutes.
That's great. So poor Charlie is really a wreck after watching that movie. And Bart realized, being a big brother is more work than I thought it was going to be. And during this time, Wiggum just jumps out of the bushes pretty much. Like, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because he realized Charlie is on the lam.
Missing.
And Charlie's like, I'm so thank you. He made me watch this scary movie. And I did not see this coming. I thought that's where this story would go.
Yeah.
That Bart would get in trouble for this. But no, fucking... It's all a ruse. Charlie grabs the mace and fucking maces Chief Wiggum.
Yep.
My snout.
My snout.
I'm worried about what Charlie's going to be. So now Bart and Charlie are on the lam running from a maced up Wiggum, and they find refuge in kind of like a pile of snow.
Yeah, you live here. There's piles of snow all over the place. What are you talking? Why are you confused?
And fucking Lisa just happens to know where they're at with some kind of weird sibling ESP. And she talks to him. It's like, hey, you got to do the right thing. He's got to go back to the orphanage. And Bart, not having that. Nope, we're going to live in here, and we're just going to make a life.
Right.
We're going to be snow people now.
This is where we live now.
And that's where we get goddamn Mr. Plow.
Plow King. Barney.
Plow King. Shithouse Barney's back in the snow moving game. Good
Plow
for him.
King lives, he shouts out the window.
I love the defiance. I enjoy a defiant snow pusher.
I like a saucy Barney.
So now they're trapped, and Lisa's like, you took too long, and now we're trapped. There's no way out. And it's like, well, there's one thing I was taught by Homer. It's point and click. So they piss their way out of a snow tomb. And I did like the Lisa, gross.
Yeah, as she's climbing out,
I remember, to this day, I enjoy the joy of watching piss destroy snow. There's something about it.
You spend a lot of your time.
Bro, one of the main reasons I've ever wanted to own a home is to piss outside without having to. Yeah. I piss outside like a shocking.
Every chance you
I
get.
had to have a talk when I was 40 years old and living at home because of COVID, because my mom's like, it smells like pee. If you're going to pee, don't do it off the porch. Do it. Jesus Christ, you pig.
How are you pissing outside enough to where you affect the smells outdoors? That's too much piss, dog.
I enjoy water. I think I'm a health nut. I'm not going to be judged by you.
Don't turn this on me like I'm the asshole right now.
I was nice enough to let you talk about being into the Smothers Brothers for 45 minutes.
That's true. You did. I do appreciate that.
I'm not going to judge your Smothers style.
Okay. I'm backing off. I'm stepping away. You piss where you want.
I like to drink water and piss outside.
Keep pissing.
Keep
pissing,
hydrating. Baby. You keep smothersing. Don't smother. Don't
smother. No.
Yeah, don't work in an old folks home. Don't do that.
You can have your piss. I can have my Dick and Tom.
But yeah. And then Charlie gets taken back where he's adopted by a family with six daughters.
Yeah.
And we get a scene of him in the back of a station wagon looking very sad because they're treating him like a doll. And that is what six daughters would do if they got a little kid in the house, a little boy. I'm going to dress him this way. I'm a princess. I want ice cream. That really had to feed into your want for children. Oh, if I could only have 6 screaming daughters in my house.
Oh, yeah. There's already nothing more that I want than children. The only thing I related to in that scene is wanting ice cream.
Yeah. I always want ice cream.
I do.
So that is, and then we get Homer and Bart kind of like, you don't have a brother, but you do have a dad, and they go watch like the 6th Sever movie.
Yeah.
And they're having fun with that.
Wholesome ending.
It is very wholesome.
I like that one. I like it a lot.
I did too. We're on a good run. So
They should put the Smothers Brothers in more of these episodes.
I don't think they'll ever do it again, and I don't think America will miss it one bit.
I'm done with you.
I am just over here teaching. I want you to prepare for a post Smothers lifestyle.
Oh God, that's coming, isn't it? They're in their 80s.
Oh man, if we can only get more red buttons.
We got to clone Dickie and Tom.
Oh man, just not enough fucking Fatty Arbuckle. He was the 3rd most popular entertainer during World War I.
The fucking climate crumbles around me. I'm just like, we gotta get the Smothers Brothers and more stuff.
Get him into the escape pod.
That's my passion project. Yes, we need police reform, but what about the Smothers?
I hope you get fuck you money late in life and you can own their skeletons.
The skulls,
just
at least.
Caressing the cheekbone of Dickie Smothers.
I hang a yo-yo off of Tommy Smothers' middle finger.
Oh, you paying high-end prostitutes to dress up like the Smothers Brothers. Demolishing a penthouse in Reno.
I'll do that today.
I don't know. He wants us some kind of weird, like a magic. They're not magic. They're comedy singer-songwriters. You know how many prostitutes have thrown off this balcony because they couldn't do a quick Google search?
Put this straighten your fucking mustache out, Tiffany. This is bullshit. You're supposed to be the straight man here.
I don't think there's any straight men here. Shut up. How many therapists have thrown off this balcony?
Fuck.
The Simpsons.
This is a good episode of The Simpsons. Episode 9 is Thursdays with A.B. I have never seen or read or know anything about Tuesdays with Maury, so I don't know a lot of references in this episode.
If you were to ask me, hey, Nathan, what do you know about Tuesdays with Maury? I would have said, I think it's a guy talks to an old guy. That's all I knew about it.
Okay, is that literally it?
Yep. I don't know why it's Tuesdays. I don't know who Maury is. I just know, hey, I'm a newspaper guy, and because I know Mitch Album or something like whatever the guy that wrote it. He was a longtime Sports Illustrated writer.
Okay,
so I knew of him.
He shows up in this episode.
Yeah. I think that is an interesting career thing to have happen. Like, you're a sports writer, and that's what you do, and then in your 50s, you have this book that just explodes.
Yeah,
that's not sports related at all. Like,
I have a taste kind of for like old timers stories.
Oh God, I love that kind of shit.
I was pretty into this episode.
Yeah.
We get into it. We're at the water park, the family and Abe, and they leave Abe on a bench so that they can go watch.
Shark bench.
Yeah, a bench that's shaped like a shark. They leave him there so that they can go watch Slimu the octopus. Yeah. And all of that shit that they're putting the octopus through, and the octopus is so clearly just not into it. Like none of the performance is the octopus performing. Yeah. It's things being done to the octopus.
Can you still go to SeaWorld? God, SeaWorld's gotten some.
I bet you can.
I think you can.
Yeah,
I went to it once. Yep.
I never have been. I have no desire to, but yeah, that's wild that that's still a thing.
Yeah. Like, I like a big kick-ass aquarium, like walk under the water, look at all the crazy fish and shit. But like, hey, here's a fucking dolphin that could play the harmonica. That don't do nothing for me. But like, that's pretty cool. That took someone a lot of work. Someone shocked the shit out of that dolphin a lot.
That's the thing. Yeah. That's why it holds no interest for me, is I can't shake that. Like, boy, the things you did to that dolphin to make it play the harmonica must be horrifying.
If that dolphin could talk, it would never stop screaming.
So they're watching Slimu the octopus. Meanwhile, back on the bench, Abe makes a friend, this guy who is interested in hearing his stories.
Which Abe is baffled by.
Yeah, he like has to double clutch a little and be like, what? Because he like starts a story and then trails off, and the guy's like, well, tell me more. And Abe like can't handle it.
He doesn't know what that phrase means.
Yeah, exactly. He's so fucking taken aback. But he tells a story about being in the Navy and the ship sinking and him learning that they can ride sharks and how they train domesticate these fucking sharks out in the ocean before they get rescued. In the B story, we're in Bart's classroom, and he is chosen to take the lamb home for the weekend, like this little stuffed animal lamb, Larry the lamb.
Did you ever do anything like that in school?
Kindergarten, we had an Astro, this like stuffed spaceman. And
Really?
a kid got to take it home every weekend.
So what was like the idea? Something like this? Did you have to write? What did you have to write down? Or
I don't think so. We were in kindergarten. I don't think.
write.
I think
Yeah.
it was just hey,
fun.
you get to take Astro
Hey,
home.
buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't. But I don't think there was any manner of assignment or
like no journaling.
maybe it was just, hey, teach kids to take care of something if they're given it. I don't know what the reasoning is.
If we did, I don't remember it, which I usually remember everything. So yeah.
The only other thing we ever had that was like take home in school, like take home and be responsible for, is that fucking crying baby in like 8th grade or 9th
never
grade.
did that.
You never had to do that in like a home ec class or anything?
No, home
like
ec
that?
wasn't a requirement. That was a you could sign up for it. Like so.
Maybe it wasn't home ec because every kid did it, regardless
Really?
whether or not they took home ec.
It was like a doll that cried?
Yeah, like a fucking doll.
I didn't know shit.
You don't really?
Yeah.
I thought this was ubiquitous. I thought every student did this.
Man, I might have some classmates listening like, what the fuck, dude? Were you sick that day? But I know I would remember that because that's not your normal homework.
No, it was like part of, I think it's meant to be preventative.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's meant to be birth control for young students, where it's like, yeah, it's a fucking baby-sized hard plastic doll, and you have a key, this plastic key, and it fucking cries every so often, and you have to stick the key in its back and turn it and hold it, so you can't just click it in and go fuck off. Like, you got to hold it in there, and every once in a while you turn it, like you let the key loose. It's spring loaded, so you let it loose to see if it's done crying or not, and sometimes it ain't, and sometimes it is, and it records it all somehow, including recording like if it's been damaged, like if you huck it off a bridge, it knows that, and then you turn it in to the teacher at the end of the week. I think you had to have this thing a week, or at least 2 or 4 days, and then you turn it, and it's part of your grade.
Catholicism. This is what this is. That's why my school didn't have. Your school didn't have hot water, yet it had the high-tech robot babies. Buy a box of rubbers, leave them by the front door, and have a normal school.
It was for sure abstinence related.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the thing was a fucking nightmare. Yeah. You like dreaded it all year.
I bet. Like, how long did you have? Like a weekend?
I think it was 2 or 3 days, if not most of a week. Like, it was a huge pain in the dick. And like every parent dreaded it too. Like, my
house.
Kid's got this fucking thing this weekend. And like, if you were on like the basketball team and you got it, you had to fucking leave it with somebody. And it was a whole fucking thing. And it was like, I think if you did badly enough, you could fail the whole class for that semester. Like, they took it very seriously, this fucking robot baby.
See, I've seen like on TV shows and shit where the kids have a bag of flour.
I've seen that on television, but we had a sophisticated android.
They're fucking just taking parts out of the bus to build these robots.
I imagine most of the school's funding went towards this fucking Philip K. Dick toddler. Fucking nightmare.
More computing power than the school's computer lab.
Boy, that's fucking true.
God, that's wild.
Let's remember, in 7th grade, I took typing on a typewriter.
That's insanity.
But kids were taking home the fucking
robot
android.
Babies, babies that could do your fucking taxes.
Fuck, I thought that was ubiquitous.
Nope.
Jesus. So Bart gets to take home Larry the Lamb for the weekend. It's, and it's like you said, he has to like write some journal entries, but it's like a cute thing. I like that everyone wants it except Bart, including Nelson, who's like sitting in the back of the room being like, please God, I need this right now.
His exact words, like without an inch of comedy, just like he needs the goddamn lamb.
Yeah. We get a scene at home where Homer pours his bacon grease into his coffee mug and takes a big pull of it, which is real rough. It's in this scene where we see that guy was that guy talking to Abe, I believe Marshall is his name, is a newspaper journalist who's now printing Abe's stories, Tuesdays with Maury style.
And when fucking Homer notices it, the whole world is upside down. That must mean that Kathy is funny. He reads Kathy. Nope.
I thought of you right away.
It's like, we haven't had a comic strip joke in a minute.
Yeah. I was like, oh, there's one for Nathan.
Yeah. Oh my God. Also, and I don't mean to jump back too far, but when Abe is sitting on that goddamn shark bench and that guy approaches, is this seat taken? Not for a pretty girl like you. Is Abe losing his mind or is he blind? What's going on?
There's a middle-aged man sitting next to him.
Not for a pretty young girl like you.
We get another story of Abe's that he's relaying to Marshall, this time about how he met Clark Gable while he was a shoe shiner at the train station next to the Tinseltown Express or something. Tinseltown Starlight is what it was.
Why would that be a thing? Like, why would there be a train full of celebrities?
The last stop before Hollywood, Meanwhile, with the lamb story, Lisa takes Larry the Lamb and is like driving it around because Bart doesn't want this fucking thing. And so she's like, well, I'll actually take good care of it, not like you. And then she pretty immediately loses it down a storm drain.
Yeah. Boy, you could tell we were in between It movies. There would have been an It gag there.
Oh, yep. So that author who wrote Tuesdays with Maury shows up at the old folks' home and starts like badgering people for stories, and they throw him out like he's some fucking Johnny-come-lately. And he voices himself. I thought that was fun. So now Homer starts coming around, wanting to hang out with Abe. He brings him some scotch and just wants to spend some time with him now that Homer knows he's interesting and is somebody. And to Abe's credit, Abe calls him out on that shit pretty immediately. Like, fuck you. You never wanted to hear any of my shit before, and now you're coming around? Nah, not having it.
Good for him.
Good for Abe. Lisa reveals to Bart that she had lost Larry. There's a scene where they're out on I think they're out on the lawn getting ready to get on the bus, and Nelson walks by going like, I can't wait to see Larry the Lamb tomorrow. And he's so excited. And Lisa's like, what if theoretically somebody lost Larry? And he's like threatening under his breath, just like, I wouldn't know what I would do if anything bad ever happened to Larry. And as he goes walking into the distance.
It's like Larry's the last thing that's keeping me tethered to this world.
God, I love Nelson in this
and just
episode.
That slow fist rise, and just a little bit of a shake. Like,
I like these little tastes of Nelson we've gotten in like this episode and the one where he's eating Marge's birth control pills, where he just kind of pops in every so often.
My arms look like hams. Hams.
Nelson. Homer is like, well, I don't need Abe. I'm gonna go find a different dad, and shows up at Mr. Burns's mansion and is sitting in the reading room listening to Burns's stories. And Burns is like delighted that he has somebody to tell his stories to, and is like, oh, I really like you. Tell you what, release one hound. Like, I love that that's his being nice. And Homer like sees the one guard dog and is like, oh, look, he thinks he's a pack. Like, it's so cute. Oh, God. So now Lisa and Bart are looking for Larry the Lamb. Lisa lowers Bart down into the sewer, and he ends up like going on a fucking tirade down there. There's rats, and then there's sewer cats that he has to deal with, which I thought was fun. He finds Larry and ends up escaping, but in the process destroys Larry. Like, he tears Larry in half. Homer, in the meantime, sneaks into Marshall's office, sees that he's going to kill Abe in order to win a Pulitzer Prize. Like, he really kill the golden goose here. It's really ridiculous. But he's like, oh, that'll be the culmination of all these stories, as I'll be there when Abe is killed, and it'll make for a great book ending. So they're on the train. They've gotten the Tinseltown Starlight up and running for some reason. And so he and Marshall and Abe are riding on it, and we get some good gags of Homer trying to get on the train. Like, first he's riding a horse, and that doesn't work, and then he's riding a Segway and can't catch up to the train. There's this moment where Marshall, like, turns full heel, and he's about to smother Abe. He's coming at him with a pillow, and Abe in his sleep says, "The older I get, the more I love the taste of hot water," which is such a great old man thing. Oh, God. Homer gets into the train and is about to save Abe, but of course doesn't, and then Abe takes out Marshall himself, and we cut back to the living room where everyone's sitting around, and Abe steps out of Homer's way, like a passing of the torch, like, now it's your turn to tell a long, rambling, mostly false story, and we get Homer just stumbling through the story over the credits.
A very good episode.
Yeah, I liked that one quite a bit. Also, no resolution on Larry whatsoever. Larry the Lamb, like, got wrecked coming out of the sewer and is never mentioned again.
I was just going to ask, was it ever? Nope.
I don't think so. He's in the living room in that shot,
really?
fully fixed and repaired, but no explanation. Just, we're done with that side story.
There's a line in this episode. I can't remember who tells it to who, but it's during like an argument of some kind. It's a father-son commitment band that I forgot to tell you about.
Yeah.
What a ring to get. What kind of commitment?
Yeah. That's when he comes in and Abe, like, tells him off and throws him out. He's like, well, then you can't have this ring. This father-son commitment band.
I need to get my dad one of those for Christmas. Put it on. Let's see what it looks like.
You do.
Just flashy.
Real gaudy.
Yeah. A father-son commitment bracelet.
And then the next time you see him, like, be like, hurt question, why aren't you wearing your bracelet?
Don't you think?
I support you, like, doing shit that your dad would hate to him.
Daddy, which of the Jonas Brothers do you think is handsomest? I'm gonna go outside. Bye. I would way prefer that to the Viva La Bam style of fucking with your dad. Like, just be blatantly disappointing right in his face. A father-son commitment bracelet. God, that'd be good.
Yep.
Or a locket, like
with a picture of him and a picture of you.
Just garish. Like, wait till like a 4x5 picture. It's hard to walk with this thing.
The size of a Flava Flav clock.
Let's see if we can keep the laughter rolling with episode 10, Once Upon a Time in Springfield. The Krusty the Clown show is once again retooled, this time in a bid to get girls to watch the show because numbers have been down. It's a very boy-orientated cartoon. Lots of slapstick, hasn't changed in 20-odd years.
Got to freshen it up a little.
And from what we can assume, it hasn't changed since like the 60s.
You're right,
It's been very repetitive. So what they do, they get a princess character named Penelope as Krusty's. And when I thought that, they're going to just get like a lady sidekick that'll just be kind of like the monkey.
Right.
No, it's a hard turn.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a Disney princess character. Like,
singing and shit.
Yeah, lots of singing, just what you picture a Disney princess to be like. And it works.
Of course it
Lisa
does.
is just entranced. And Bart and Milhouse are like catatonic. Like it's like the worst thing that's ever happened to him. And there's a good visual there of those two just being dismayed while Lisa's just enchanted by
They're like
it.
rocking in the fetal position,
like,
cross-eyed. Yeah. And I love Lisa's because like they're immediately like, this sucks now. What the hell? And Lisa like kind of snaps at them like, would you fucking let me have this?
I need this.
Yeah. God, it's so good.
Krusty, obviously, because he's an egomaniac, he hates it, and also he's no longer the star of his own show, so he's got a little bit of a reason. And like Krusty Krusty doesn't take change or bad news well. He immediately just falls apart. I think Bart goes to find him at like the Krusty like merchandise shop, and it's all princess stuff. It's like, where's the Krusty merch? It's through that enchanted door. It's just into an alleyway with a dumpster full of Krusty shit.
Yeah.
And then there's Krusty by the dumpster drinking gin-soaked bread.
Yeah. He makes a gin sandwich. White bread, pours gin on it, throws another slice of bread on top of that, and eats it.
That's so gross. Why don't you just drink gin?
I can't imagine eating a gin sandwich.
So obviously he hates the whole situation. Finally, he's going to put a stop to it, which he probably couldn't have if he wanted to. He was no longer running this ship. You know? And he goes to Princess Penelope's her trailer or her changing room. He's real angry until he finds out that Princess Penelope is a lifelong super fan. And not only that, wants to shtup him.
Yeah. Into Krusty.
Yeah, into Krusty in more ways than one. And soon Krusty is into her in more ways than one. And now they show his back, and now it's lovey-dovey, which Milhouse and Bart are even more repulsed by.
Yeah, now they're repulsed and betrayed.
Yeah. It's like the one guy we had that we could trust is now on the other team. So it's like I don't even know what you would consider it, like a variety show with a fun couple.
Kind of, yeah.
They just want to sing about how much they're in love together.
Ugh, it's awful. Like, they really lean into, like, how bad the show is now from Bart and Milhouse's perspective.
Yeah, like, there's no gags. Nothing's mean-spirited anymore. Like, and the culmination of Bart and Milhouse's sadness and betrayal, they announced they're getting married.
Yeah.
And if you notice, Krusty mentions this is his 15th marriage.
Insane.
That's such an awesome amount of times to have been married. Bart and Milhouse, they know that, hey, marriages don't always work. So that's kind of the goal. Like, so they're going to do something to make sure that it doesn't happen. But God damn it, Krusty's in love. Mm-hmm. Well, ain't nothing these boys can do to trick him out of it, to get him to get out of it. And what happens is Krusty loves her so much. Loves her so goddamn much that he can't go through with it. Mm-hmm. That was an interesting swerve because Krusty is never a man of integrity.
No.
Never a man of integrity at all.
But also, I think very misplaced integrity here.
Yeah,
like,
right?
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this is fucking dumb. Like, I'm on board because whatever, but this is dumb.
Yeah, that's a good. I was on board, but it's like Krusty.
Yeah. He was like, no, I can't marry you because you're too good. It's like, fuck off. What are you talking about?
It is when Bart and Milhouse are there, when he goes, this boy and his ugly sister are right. You are too good. God damn it, poor Milhouse. Say what you want. He doesn't look like a woman.
Right. Poor Milhouse.
So yeah, he's like, I don't deserve you. And she's like, I know all about you, all of your flaws. Well, she says, your bowling alley shoe spray addiction. What an insane thing to get hooked on.
That's so good.
Yeah.
And then when they cut back to him, he's taking a big snort of it. Like he's got a can in his pocket.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, right. He hasn't kicked it.
Oh my God.
He's still, there's a couple other things that are funny that she mentions that he has issues with, but the bowling alley shoe spray addiction is so insane.
Yeah.
But he sticks to it, and they're done, or appears to be. It cuts to Penelope, now in Paris, as like a, I can't think what's the name of that when you're just playing music on the street.
A busker.
A busker. She's just busking, singing sad acoustic songs. And she's, you know, she's moved on, but she still misses her clown.
Yeah.
And that's so she's looking over some bridge, and there's a ship going underneath, and she sees Krusty in the moon's reflection off the water, but no, it's Krusty. So what a romantic way to go. Krusty went to Paris.
Yeah.
Like, hey, can't live without you. And they're in love.
I changed my mind.
Yep.
Yeah. What a fucking bonkers few minutes of that story.
Yeah. Like, because I did not. My question is this canon?
Is Krusty married to this gal now?
Yeah. Be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm curious if she'll keep showing up.
Big enough character, we're going to get more.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, like that's my only issue, which I enjoyed that storyline, had some good laughs.
Yeah, it's fun.
Like, but I was like, is this a thing? Like, is this what we're gonna like? Is this a part of the Krusty verse?
No idea.
Oh, Krusty verse, you like that?
Yeah, I like it.
Thank you.
Princess Penelope, played by Anne Hathaway, by the way.
Oh, what was Anne Hathaway also just the voice of?
She was just the voice of like one of the like a little girl in an episode of 5 or 10 episodes ago.
A little girl that Bart was like, maybe like the good girl. That did good
maybe that was
things,
it. Yeah,
and Bart lied and acted like
Bart
he was a good
being
kid.
fake for. Yeah, maybe that was her.
And this is an episode where we have a pretty involved B story. They're almost A and A minor. Like they're
this other one's a big part of the episode.
We kind of have three different. I mean, there's a bunch of oddball ones like the multiple story, 3 different tales. Well, often it's 70%, 30%.
Yeah,
like major story with a little side story. This is one where they're fucking almost neck and neck.
Yeah.
It's maybe 55-45 probably. And the B story here is Mr. Burns can't help but Mr. Burns. He's just a fucking...
Burns gonna burn.
Burns is gonna burns. He's announced a moratorium on the free donuts due to budget cuts. And that's because Homer, it starts with Homer just being so excited. I don't need breakfast money. I got donuts waiting for me. Because Marge had a new donut maker.
Yeah, fryer,
and he's all excited. He gets there, and the look of sadness and betrayal. Betrayal is a theme in this episode. There's just a faded spot where the donuts usually sat, and that's where it's announced there's no more donuts. And they're hurt way more than they should be by this news for grown men who have union jobs.
I've never had a job where donuts in the break room were a regular thing, like an occasional treat, but never a full-on, like, you expect them to be there.
I had a job. One thing that was always there was a big tub of Jif peanut butter. So if, like, you were broke, like a college kid, which I was, buy a shitty loaf of Walmart white bread and just eat peanut butter toast. But it's a thing that started from when they were like just a handful of employees. One of the guys in charge, he liked having his peanut butter toast, and they've kept buying Jif peanut butter ever since. I always thought that was such a random ass thing. It's like new employees like, so is the peanut butter for everybody? Because it's weird, you don't just help yourself to the condiments in a break room,
right?
Like they're in a fridge, they're somebody else's, but nope. That's the communal peanut butter comrade.
I had one job that was always good about it. Was always coffee, no matter what. Always can have free coffee, and then always like little bags of chips, like snack size bags of chips.
Oh no shit!
Yeah,
I had a friend that worked at a Microsoft office, and they had a free cereal bar, and he said every cereal you can imagine. Just a little styrofoam bowl and like big tall canisters. You just pull a lever back.
Oh
to
yeah,
unleash
like at a hotel.
And then a big thing of 2% milk. And he's like, I ate so much goddamn Cookie Crisp. I was like, I don't know, you could feel diabetes, but I was getting it. Like
cookies for breakfast.
Yeah. And then for him, it was like cookies for breakfast, mid-lunch, lunch, post-lunch, afternoon, late afternoon, and a bowl in my car on the way home. Too much Cookie Crisp.
Boy, cereal while you're driving is a tough one.
Yep.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, if you get pulled over eating cereal, they should just pull you out and pistol whip you right in the street. Make an example of you.
Sir, no.
Yeah. So Lenny and Carl and Homer are at Moe's, just, as they often are, just downtrodden, They can't believe yet another indignity put upon them by Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
And this fancy-looking guy comes in, and he buys a round, which Mo doesn't know what that means. God, these guys are the worst. Buy a round. What do you? He has to look it up in a bartender. Oh, this is real good for me. He's real excited about this news, and I think we get the guy's name, but I can't think of what.
Gator McCall.
It's animal based. Yeah,
it's a great name.
It's like, I'm a headhunter, which causes Homer to hide under a table in fear. Like, no, I mean, I'm like a corporate recruiter,
yeah,
not a real headhunter. So what they're looking to do is try to persuade these three men into going to Capital City's power plant. And he takes them to Capital City. We get a tour, all of the endless perks. Holy shit. Some companies let you have a Far Side comic hanging up in your cubicle. Here, we've hired Gary Larson to make in-house Far Side. And now it's voiced by Gary Larson. Known recluse, Gary Larson.
Gary Larson, who doesn't do anything. They got him to do a voice on The Simpsons.
So great. And then they have free in-work massages while you're fed sushi through like the table hole.
Yep. Which I was pretty into. Yep. During that scene, fucking Lenny, like that scene opens with those three laying there getting massages. And the first line of dialogue is Lenny going, I don't care what anyone says. Massages are relaxing. Yeah.
What is that? Yeah. God damn it, Lenny.
Did you hear otherwise?
Yeah, right? Yeah,
Lenny?
like what's the word on the street about massages in Springfield?
I was dying laughing at that.
This is a funny episode.
Yeah, it is.
And then I was thinking, I had a job where there weren't free massages. They were heavily discounted massages.
Oh, really?
An in-house masseuse.
I was about to say in-house?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah. I mean, she charged normally what a normal masseuse would charge. You paid half. The business paid the other half. That was a nice perk that I did not take advantage of until way too late. I did not know the joys of a massage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, that seems like a waste of money. And then you get one. It's like that can change your outlook on your life.
I feel like I haven't, like, outside of like working in radio where you never pay for concert tickets to anything, like I feel like the perk packages I've had are not, like, have never been anything outstanding. Like, I've always had jobs where you're criminally underpaid, but the boss brings in beer and Little Caesars every other Thursday to make you think it's the best job ever.
Yep. I've had lots of jobs where everything sucks, but hey, pizza party.
Yeah.
Hey, here's the worst pizza ever.
Yeah.
Have some bad pizza. That'll make things better.
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
My teeth hurt. I need to go to the dentist. Just more pizza.
You just need more Little Caesars.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's hot and ready.
Such a slap in the face to get Little Caesars, too.
Yep.
Like, not that it's much worse than any other trash delivery pizza, but it's like, God damn it. I'm fucking throwing my best years of my life away at this job.
I'm fucking watching my 20s die in front of my eyes.
And this is what I get.
Yeah. And then saying things like, yeah, we're a family here. It's like, you manipulative piece of garbage. Mm-hmm. You make $4 million.
They made a robot that could do what I do. You'd buy it tonight.
Yep.
Yeah. You would program that robot to kill me.
Think of what you would save in pizza.
Yeah. So they are very intrigued by this job, but Smithers is also there
at the massage.
I don't know
joint.
if we're supposed to expect that he's getting wooed by them or if he's doing intel, but he's a very loyal man, so he's probably doing intel.
And he's wearing a towel. He seems like he's there for the massage.
Yeah. So, but he sees those three and lets Burns know. Burns' response, like, oh, the heart of our tug of war team. Just such a good line. And they take the bait. They're gonna go to Capital City to work. They're walking out of the power plant. They got all their office accoutrements with them, and they are confronted in the parking lot by Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns makes them an offer they can't refuse by bringing the fucking donuts back. They've had a chance to negotiate and improve many things, but these fucking dolts just get their donuts back.
But not to their credit, not just any donuts.
Pretty good donuts.
These specialty made with pre-Batista Cuban sugar and fried in 3 animal tallows, 2 of which are extinct.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah.
And to their credit, they say no. But then they try it, and he says, okay, fine, 2 a day. And then they're immediately back in the fucking power plant. Pre-Batista Cuban sugar and fried in 3 animal tallows, 2 of which are extinct. Super fucking funny.
Yep.
That's a very Burnsian answer to his problem.
Yeah, right? Oh, man. Good episode, and Jesus, this was a nice palate cleanser from the first 5 of this batch.
Yeah, this is a banger
season.
of a batch. Man, that moonshine episode is so goddamn funny. The one where Bart is trying to get his parents to have a brother is pretty funny. Like, all around, this is a very good episode.
There wasn't one episode
batch.
where I was like, holy shit, this could have come out in season 7. And there wasn't anything that good, but they were all just better than average, which is nice.
Yep. With a couple of, I think, legit bangers in there.
Yeah, this is a positive turn. It's like, oh boy, season 21 started off kind of like a dud, but hey.
We're back on track.
There you go, Simpsons. We did, and speaking of we did it.
We made it through an episode of America's Barley Basket.
Take that, haters.
You said we couldn't be done.
Yeah, here we are, proving you wrong.
We will do it again next week. We will do episodes 11 through 15 of season 21 for next week.
I'll probably watch them.
Yeah, probably.
I think I'll give it a try.
All right, why don't you? If you can.
It's a pretty good show.
If you can be bothered.
Yeah, I know I'm a busy man, but I think I could try. How many do you watch usually? 1 or 2?
Of the 5? Yeah, 1 or 2. I'm like, fuck it.
Holy shit, that'd be so great.
I only watch the ones that I recap.
Yeah. I find out you don't have Disney Plus.
I get it all secondhand from a friend of mine.
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey, what happens in this episode? And she explains it to me over the phone.
Yeah.
I jot down what I can.
So Marge? Was that her name? Yeah, man. It's mentioned often.
It's not new.
No shit. Now, hair wasn't just a one-off. That's every episode she looks like that. Yeah, man.
Oh, shit. You and I are telling jokes on Saturday.
Beautiful Wahpeton,
North Dakota.
Home of the Wahpeton Wops, I believe, which is a very troublesome sports name.
Okay, I didn't know that was a sports name. I was wondering where you were going with that. I was like, Jesus, okay.
I don't know if they had discussions to change it. I don't think they have a very, very dense Italian culture community.
In southeastern North Dakota. Yeah,
we have a lot of Italian immigrants moving here. So yeah, that's where we'll be at the City Brew Hall, I believe the name of it is.
Cool.
Pretty fancy place.
That's this Saturday.
We're very fancy boys.
Come see us tell jokes.
Listen to jokes. If you want to accost us, wait till we're in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Don't do it while we're on stage.
Yeah, don't come at us. Yeah. You don't know anything about the Simpsons.
Yeah.
You guys miss so much in these recaps.
We get it.
Yeah. You can find us on the internet at Barley Basket USA on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. BarleyBasketUSA@gmail.com is the email address. Enjoy your week.
Bye, everybody.